got the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk. Presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, Radford pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as the valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. Got the scoop, faster than a sprint, calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite.
Have a Thursday up on the screen right now. Like if it were another day, it wouldn't say Thursday. Yeah, that's how we roll. Hope everybody's doing well. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Professional Incorporated text line. Hey, how are you? We're on the eve of, well, it started last night, eve of Radford University in the Big South Conference basketball tournament. David Smith joins us coming up at 6:30-ish. Talk some NFL free agents to get you primed for the free agent binge that's about to happen. Salary caps up about, what, 15 million, something like that? Andy Bitter from Tech Sideline. He will join us coming up. And then will be a very emotional interview with Alex Guerra, the head baseball coach at Radford University, given everything that's happened. So Alex is going to come on. Talked with him yesterday. Told him, look, if you're not ready, don't come on, obviously. But he wants to come on before the Highlanders head to Charlotte for the weekend for multiple games against multiple teams. And then Dwight Vick. So we got a busy show as always here. And hope everybody's doing well, wherever you might be. Hit us up, subscribe, like, and share. Need it. But I hope everybody's doing okay. We'll be heading out tomorrow morning, myself and Neil Leahy, early. And, yeah, that's going to be the lead story, no doubt. Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. I reached out to Coach Elmo. We'll try to get him on tomorrow, talk just nothing else about anything but Coach Holtz. Very sad, very sad. You're no doubt, Morris, just a wonderful motivator. Wonderful motivator. Good man all the way around. 259 wins. I mean, he is an iconic staple in college football coaching. I mean, I think because of how he was, we kind of forget what a really good football coach he was, and we shouldn't, right? He was the last guy to win Notre Dame a national title. Was always good on TV. He had his paper tearing trick that made the rounds yesterday when he'd be up talking to crowds, and it's really cool, really cool. Good man, great ambassador, not only for the game of football but for life. And I know Coach Elmo, he sent me some great pictures of I went down to see him, and really we'll try to talk to him tomorrow about that. But you can't talk about the greatest modern college football coaches and not have Lou Holtz pretty high up on the list. I mean, that guy won everywhere that he went. I mean, he took William and Mary to a bowl game. That's what Coach Elmo keeps saying. Imagine that. Turned everybody around where he went. And he may have been diminutive in stature, but, man, he was a bulldog. And players respected him and would run through a wall for Lou Holtz. There's no question. So he'll be greatly missed. He had been in hospice care for, I guess, around a month. And yesterday, his son, Skip, made the announcement on X that Coach Holtz had finally lost his battle, and he passed away. So, you lose more and more of these iconic people that built the sports that we love, that we grew up ourselves. I mean, it starts to get more and more watered down, especially when you look at how the modern things are going. No doubt for me, this Mount Rushmore of college coaches. I mean, there's lots of images of him you remember, but him with his Notre Dame cap and the Notre Dame kind of sweater top, always walking very aggressively. That's how I kind of remember him the most. And we'll have Jen on tomorrow, and she'll talk about him, what he's able to do at South Carolina. But, we've lost another great one, and it seems to be happening all too often. But he had a good life. From what his son Skip put out yesterday on the post on X, he was comfortable. He was relaxed. He wasn't in any kind of distress, which is awesome news. And apparently he just went to sleep for the final time. Was basically the way he described it. So we're thinking about Coach Elmo today, because I know it's a difficult time for him. And hopefully I'm going to reach out to him later today and see if he wants to come on tomorrow and tell some Lou Holtz stories that we haven't really gotten into. So that'll be good. We'll see if that works out. Terrible. Roland Lazenby will be on tomorrow. Mike Ashley's flying to Texas. So we hope to have Coach Elmo, Roland, and Jen on tomorrow. But we'll keep you updated on all that. So, starting off on a bummer note today. No doubt about it. But he had been in hospice, but I think from the way it just came across, I think it kind of even surprised his son that he stayed around and fought as long as he did. I'm not surprised. He was a bulldog, man. And he was great on TV because he just said whatever he wanted to say, and he was unapologetic. He didn't worry about political correctness. He didn't worry about being canceled. Imagine that. Family Fencing is a sponsor of our studios here in Reiner. For a free quote, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrb.com. Thank you so much, Jason. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic. Thank you, Marco, sponsor of our chat room. We can get over there here soon. Whenever basketball season is over, I'll be there. And we're going to go through the gauntlet, and we'll post it on the channel. Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program. Thank you so much, Jonathan Sweet, Tim Miller, Stacy Compton will be on the show Monday. Talk about the IHRA partnership. It's going to be awesome. Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply over in Christiansburg, 300 North Franklin Street for their support. Thank you to the NRV Super Bowl. Also over there in Christiansburg, right by the DMV, 382-5525, league nights, weekends coming up. Spend some time with your buds over at the Super Bowl and take in all the great improvements they've made. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. And yes, when Morris and I finally get everything organized, we are going to do the BDST bash over at the Super Bowl. Yes, we are. But give Charles Lee a call. You might want to make sure your air units are going to be okay. We're going to be warm here now finally for a few days. It's awesome. Can't wait. Fan question of the week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford. Trust and estate planning, a no-brainer. 32 of you have said 7 wins is the bottom. Some people had 9. Well, I mean, I'm not going to laugh that off. Who knows? The way things go, what we saw last year in the ACC, maybe James Franklin can pull off 9 wins. Who knows? National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST on YouTube, my exclusive banking partner for 35 years. I'm doing some refinancing here at home, and they're taking care of me. Professional Door Incorporated, Travis Williams. Commercial and garage doors, residential and commercial garage doors. 38 years in business up in Dublin, right across from NRCC. Give him a call. They've branched out. They're everywhere now. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, 4377 Lee Highway in Pulaski. ReadySetFund.com. That is Bob Christ, BOBCRIST 11 at Gmail. And, Bob called and explained. I wasn't really sure what this Ready Set Fund was, and I started reading up on it. Man, it is great. It's smart. It's just a series of text messages that you send out if you're trying to raise money for your recreational, high school team, pee-wee team, church organization, school organization, business organization. They can help you in a variety of ways. ReadySetFund.com. It's really cool, and it's very effective. Sundown Electric, our newest sponsor, started on Monday. They have one of the best reputations around. Clients will line up and tell you how great they are. Heck, Morris used them back in the 90s before there was even a BDST. They make sure they pay attention to detail, clear communication. They're honest. And I've already talked to Jeff several times. He's terrific. The brothers are doing a great job with their father's business. So Sundown Electric, look them up, listed in Elliston. They are the best. And we want to thank them for sponsoring the program. And if you want a T-shirt, hit me up. They're $20, $30 if shipped. So a lot of good stuff going on. Good morning, Chris Lester. How you doing, brother? Good morning, Opal. Good stuff. Good morning, Auto Hauling. Shouldn't be watching YouTube and making a turn. Would I go on Joe Rogan? Absolutely, 100%. Joe Rogan's the best podcaster in the nation. How about that guy? He's only worth, what, probably a couple billion at least. Not a guy who cares about whether he's canceled or not, which I appreciate. Appreciate people who actually get on there and speak their mind. They don't care. Who cares? I mean, you have responsibilities, of course. But I'm not going to worry about. He shouldn't anyway. He shouldn't worry about it. Come on. I think Rogan's podcast has gotten to the point to where if you are, I don't know, a celebrity or a politician or an athlete, if he wants to be on, you go. You just go. I'd go in a heartbeat. I'd love to meet Joe Rogan. It'd be great. It'd be great. Yeah, I'm sure Rogan's going to have me on. Yeah. I don't think so. I love it. Yeah, Morris, that's the best one. Lou Holtz, never tell your problems to anyone. 20% don't care, and the other 80% are glad you have them. 100%. That's pretty much my life every day. My realization that I come to, nobody really cares about you, and people are probably glad to hear you're having problems. He's so right. It's sad. Opal said she just asked her husband about him a couple of weeks ago. Your husband's a lucky man, Opal. Remind him of that. Yeah, he entered hospice, I want to say about a month ago, Coach Holtz. And then there was there was like 6 or 7 people had posted on X that he'd passed away one Sunday morning. So I was like, wow. So actually, two of them were very reputable. And I said, well, I better copy and paste that and put it on the Facebook page because that's big news. That's sad. And then about an hour later, Skip Holtz came on and said, no, Dad he hasn't left us. He had a moment last night where we thought he was going to go, but he came through it and now he's actually awake. And I was like, oh, take it down. So I don't know where those reports came from, but he fought it for about a month. He stayed on for about a month, saw people and had fun and was laughing. They kept posting pictures of him. And finally, yesterday, Skip made the announcement. So, yeah. Very sad. No problem, Josh. Thank you. Let me know. Help us out. Subscribe. Spread the word on the channel. That's how you could help. Be great. But yeah, tell Joe I said, hey, I'd love to go on. It'd be awesome. Thanks, man. Last night in the Big South, Gardner Webb, who won 3 games all year, won 1 conference game, won the 8-9 game over USC Upstate. 65-64. They earned the right to go play 28-4 High Point. Talked to a few of my colleagues around the league. Everybody upset, first of all, that we didn't get to vote this year, and secondly, on the all conference teams, and then all this crap that they threw out there. Coaches of the year. So in other words, like Mike McGuire, Radford women's coach, was coach of the year with the Gardner Webb coach, who were picked to finish, I think, 6th or 7th, and they finished 4th. But Mike had one more first place vote. So he wins. He's coach of the year. Tell him to come on here. We'll tell him how lucky he is, Opal. Come on. We'll let him know. Same thing on the men's side. Don't get me started again on that. I think David Smith and I are going to get into that. But in spite of all that, how stupid that is and how it really makes the whole thing unimportant, the fact they left Dennis Parker Jr. off first team, whoever the hell voted, and I think there were larger things at hand as to why he was left off. Because anybody who follows the Big South will say, wow, that guy, that's the kid from NC State, right? Yeah. I talked to every coach in our league. We have a pregame. And now I'm back. Am I back? That was weird. I mean, that was really strange. You could say that came out of nowhere.
Oh my. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was out of nowhere.
Censorship. Somebody from the Big South. Cut him off. Cut him off. He's talking about how ridiculous what we did this year was. So every coach I talk to, we call it Across the Bench. Brought to you by the Highlander Hotel. And every coach in our league, well, we got to do something with Dennis Parker Jr. He's the best. And they all said it. He is the best pure offensive player in this league. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. Maybe I did it. Maybe I did it. But again, it's nice to know that you can have a little faux pas like that, and then you're able to fix it. Cut him off the air. Cut him off the air. He's criticizing the voting process again. Somebody in the Big South, the head of censorship, and then his co-head of censorship. It's like being a co-defensive coordinator. Are you the damn coordinator or are you not? All right, just let it go. Do not hit that eject button. So, Dennis Parker Jr. not on the team, and hopefully Radford will be motivated starting late tomorrow night. We'll play around 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We won't play any earlier than that. Last night's I don't know why tournaments do this. You would think they've never put on a tournament before. Like they had the women's and men's game back-to-back last night as the play-in games, right? So you had the women's game. For some reason, they started at, I don't know what time it started, 5:30, 5 or 5. Anyway, the men's game is supposed to start at, it was 5:30, and the men's game was supposed to start at 7:30. Men's game doesn't start till after 8. Why do you not leave more time? Why do you think that you're going to get these games over with on time? Have you never put on a tournament before? Maybe all the tournament organizers and then the co-tournament organizers can figure that out for next year. Yeah, I'm not going to let that go. No, I'm not. I mean, you're not Morris from Palm Coast. There's not a Morris from Palm Coast and then a Morris from Palm Coast. Don't get me started. Fired up. Now I'm mad again. David Smith's going to be mad again, too. David Smith's not happy with this either. We all watch the same Dennis Parker. We know. If you don't believe me, what do you hear from David? That guy knows what a good basketball player was. Hell, he's a Hall of Famer. Keon Brown said it yesterday. He even posted about it yesterday. He put a shot up of the first team, and it's absolutely criminal. Dennis Parker Jr. is not on this team. Yeah. It's kind of like when Charles Woodson won the Heisman Trophy just because they were trying to make a statement. Right? Remember that? I mean, Woodson was a great player. Great player. But he shouldn't have won that. Yay, congratulations, Paul. Your son was your stepson, Regional Player of the Year. Should I say his name? Region 3D Player of the Year. I won't say his name unless you say it's okay. I don't, young people respect all that stuff. Maybe there should be. I could double my tee times. That's true, Morris. You could be out playing golf and then your Morris. All right, Steele Torrance. Congratulations, Steele. Region 3D Player of the Year for the Hidden Valley Titans. Down in, that's Roanoke County, right? That's city or county. Anyway, congratulations. That's awesome. Absolutely it is, Tebow. And how about that? Miami's 30-0. You got morons like Bruce Pearl going around saying they shouldn't be in if they lose their tournament. We'll call that person Co-T or Mini-Me. Yeah, Miami's 30-0. I don't care if they lose in the first round of their tournament. They're in. What are we doing? And you had the same Bruce Pearl arguing that Auburn was like one game over 500, and they should be in because look at their net ranking. If you're not winning games, you shouldn't be in the tournament. If you're winning games, you should be. I'm with you. Miami, the artist formerly known as the Redskins, but no, we can't do that. We had to change it to Red Hawks. It's a lot better than Commanders, but still. 30-0. Jeez. And to think about it, too, in a mid-major league like the MAC, it's really tough to do because all your teams kind of have very similar talent. And some of those places are tough to go in and win on the road. It's pretty impressive, man. No, it's incredibly impressive. It's not pretty impressive. It's incredibly impressive. The whole Bruce seems to have a Seth Greenberg gene in him. Yeah, probably so. Wonder if he'd want $500 if he wanted to come on this program. Some of these guys, the things that they say are only just to create conversation, I guess, because you can't believe anybody with any credibility or anybody with any sanity would say some of the things that they do. And that may be the most insane thing I've heard going into conference tournaments, that Miami, 30-0, if they lose, should not be in the tournament. What are we doing? And then I heard some morons yesterday saying, well, this is why the tournament needs to be expanded. If the tournament's expanded to 90 teams, Miami wouldn't have to worry about it. No, that's not the solution. The solution is you do the right thing. Like Tebow said, 68 teams, they're clearly one of the best 68 teams at 30-0. They deserve to be in. End of story. Don't tell me about their league. And don't try to show, well, this is what Ken Pomp said, Professor Freak here from The Simpsons. I don't want to hear that. They're 30-0. If you win all your games, this goes back to the Florida State argument and they being left out of the Final Four a couple years ago. This goes back to Miami and Notre Dame. It worked out. If you win the game, but winning the game doesn't factor into the decision of whether or not that team's included, then why play the games? This goes back to David Smith. The NFL, you win the game, you move on to the next level. There's no argument. You're either in the playoffs or you're not because you win the game. Miami's won 30 games. They're in. Sorry. Now I'm all fired up today. Got me thinking about Dennis Parker Jr. again. All right. Joining us now on the program to also be fired up is that gentleman. He is my co-brother in this world, David Smith. What's up, Hall of Famer?
And good morning, Mr. Fired Up. What's up, Mr. Fired Up? And I just caught the tail end. I just caught the tail end of your Miami rant, and I don't even understand what people are talking about. Let me tell you, if you're going to be that disingenuous, listen, any team that goes, if Radford University went 30-0, if High Point went 30-0, if you want to be disingenuous, leave them out of the tournament, and you'll never live that one down. It's impossible to not put that team in after all they've done, because, I mean, listen, they can screw it up a lot, and I'm never going to say never to the NCAA on a lot of things. No, they can't screw this. They can't screw this one up, Rick. They're deserving to be there, and that's just it. You've had a whole 4 months to figure it out.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
They're winning every game they're winning every game they're playing. So
playing them all, win them all. You know, it reminds me, I think it was what's funny about it is Greg Marshall, Roanoke's own, you know Greg Marshall, Mr. Winthrop himself for a number of years, was at Wichita State. I think it's about 10 years ago. Yep. They were undefeated, and they actually got a 1 seed, but Rick, they got, I don't want to say shafted, but it didn't go well for them because what they did was they put 8 seed Kentucky
Yes.
in their bracket with them. And so after they won the first game, the 116 game, now on the Saturday or the Sunday, the second game, here's Kentucky with about 11 losses, and it was an unfair fight. And so there you go with that, which I thought was unfair to Wichita State. But look, you win all the games, man, get in the tournament, period.
Right.
Get in the tournament. Nothing else to talk about.
Goes back to your NFL theory, which is right. I mean, that's you win the games, you're in.
Again, you know, listen, we all love drama. I don't love it as much as some. Hey, each week, where's everybody in the NCAA? That's all fine and well and good. When NFL's got it pretty simple. There's a list of tiebreakers sitting right up there right now, buddy. You know what you've got to do. And there were people before that said, do we want to get rid of the divisions in the NFL? Nope. No, we do not. We want to keep those in-house rivalries, and you earn your way to winning a division. If it happens to be a 7-9 season, we don't care. Or in this case, I guess it would be 7-10, the way it is now. But you get the point. Win your division, you get to host a playoff game. You know what it is when you start the season, and that's it. No surprises, bro. No polls. This isn't gymnastics. With a lot of respect to that, this isn't a eye test competition. Winning, you're in, buddy. Winning, you're in. Now I got my coffee going. Keep it rolling, brother.
Hey, did you know in the last 48 hours, the Big South told us that Dennis Parker Jr. is not one of the 5 best players in the league? And I can say that the Big South told us because we didn't get to vote as media members.
Yeah, Rick, explain to me and our listeners, in case I've missed it again, who's voting then? Who's voting?
I didn't get it. I didn't get an answer on who actually voted. I have no idea. Idea.
Who's seeing more game? And listen, there's been controversy over first team and all NBA, all NFL, all pro forever. But one thing that cannot be disputed is there's the people that have the most eyes objectively across the landscape on every game is the media. You all see it all. You see everybody. And if you want to make it one where you don't vote on your own, so be it. But goodness knows, you guys are a 9-team league, 8 other teams seeing Dennis Parker. You're not telling me he's not one of the best 5 players in the league.
What are we doing?
That makes no sense. He's such a difference maker, and here's the other thing, Rick. He's not a over the top guy. So you couldn't even go and say, well, he's one of those guys. I don't like how he acts. You don't like how he acts. He doesn't do anything. He scores and he goes to the foul line. He doesn't ask for anything. He's not a whiner. It's a disgrace that he's not one of the top 5 players in the league. Because he is one of the top 5 players in the league. And
21 points a game. 21 points a game.
Yeah, that's not enough, Rick. That's not enough. I mean, I don't know in our league that anybody has ever had that many points in conference and not been first team. How's that ever happened? I don't know.
I don't know. But I'm going to ask all these questions tomorrow when I get conference people looking at me eye to eye. I'll tell you that. I want an answer. I just want some answers.
Yeah. And why did they change it this year? What made this year so different? I can't explain it. I can't believe it.
And we got no notice. We got no notice until I reached out. I said, hey, I didn't see the ballot come through this year. Oh, yeah, by the way, we're not letting the media vote this year.
Not letting the media vote. So who in the world? So I guess the question is, who indeed did vote? And why is it just that? Because the other thing with it is, Rick, this is why a lot of times you need balance. So if it's just one entity, then they can be too slanted for whatever reason. And that's why you need the media so that you can have some level of balance in this and make sure it's authentic. And so whatever it ends up being, I can't wait for you to chime in and let us know. Maybe next Wednesday we'll keep railing on this thing. Hopefully after we've been crowned champion on both the men and women's side. That'll be a lot better conversation, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, real quick, we lost Coach Holtz yesterday.
Yeah.
Finally lost his battle. Man, you talk about a guy that won everywhere he went. William & Mary's rolling, and I mean, you followed his career, right? And you know, another guy who went to the NFL, he said, "You know what? I'm not an NFL guy. I'm going back to college, and I'm going to go win a natty at Notre Dame."
Yeah, 1976 with the Jets. I don't even remember that. I remember rooting for the Dolphins then. But clearly the Jets wasn't big enough for me to remember them. I remember Weeb Eubank. I remember those days and that kind of thing. Yet, Lou Holtz, how could you not be a fan of football our age and not be entrenched in the fact that he had that Notre Dame run with the Jerome Betts and Tony Rice group, the Catholics versus Convicts, the 30 for 30. If you ever want to see something that good. Talks about, now you can't do it today, respectfully.
No.
But you talk about the T-shirts thing, and in fact, when you listen to the Miami guys, it was done with a ton of disrespect. But at that moment, it was just because I remember seeing it, and I just thought, oh boy, this is going to really juice the game. I was probably too simplistic in my own thinking then, like, oh, this is going to be a really great football game. And of course, it turned out to be that. And to win a national championship at Notre Dame, you'd have to remember, like, I think it was 85 when Miami drudged them in, I think it was Jerry Faust's last game. I think Mike Golick was on that team, and they got destroyed, and Jimmy Johnson kept pounding them.
Scoring.
Yeah. And Jimmy's reply was, well, I had lost. And listen, it depends on how you like Jimmy or don't like Jimmy, if you thought that was too much. But Jimmy had also been on the other side of the Flutie Hail Mary. He had also been on the other side of the Maryland comeback when they were up a ton on them. So Jimmy was like, I'm never going through that again. But that's okay. Notre Dame bookmarked that as all athletes should, as petty as we all are, as coaches are. Lou Holtz takes over that program. They were a moribund program at that time, Rick. And then he comes in. He gets the recruits he needs. You know, you're talking about Tim Brown. You're talking about Rocket Ismail. You're talking about Jerome Bettis, Tony Rice. You know, you're talking about Chris, was it Zorich? I think it was.
Chris George, yeah.
Zorich.
Yeah.
And so you start just what he was able to do culture-wise. And I was reading some of the stuff. I think Jerome Bettis had a great post about it. Like most of us that play sports on any level, the reverence we have for our coaches, and I hear you talk about Coach Hicks all the time, not just you, but Todd Grantham and to Matt Wrong, you guys always bring it back to Coach Hicks. You always bring it back to Coach Hicks, and it got me to talking to my friend Sammy, who you see at the games, who's a Pulaski guy.
Yeah.
And Sammy and I talk about Coach Hicks, and I go, Sam, you didn't even play football. He says, let me tell you something about Coach Hicks. He reigned over respect all throughout the New River Valley. And it just 100%. Wasn't just a Pulaski thing. But it wasn't because he was some bully or some ogre or some.
Nope.
He was just a guy that commanded respect through the way he did things. And I think about those kinds of things when I think about Lou Holtz, what he meant to those players, what most good coaches or any coach means to their players. They mean more than the games. The games matter. And he was tough on them, as they should be tough on them, because football is a tough sport for tough people. And you can't sugarcoat football. You cannot. It's that I'm a basketball guy through and through. It's how I kind of did my thing. But I played football through high school too. And I'm here to tell you, football's a separator. It is. It is not for everyone. And when you get the Friday night lights thing and you get the chance to put that gear on and you go out there in a gladiator form, it's for tough people. And Lou Holtz made sure his people were tough. And
100%.
And a career I think it was 70 years between broadcasting and coaching, just about. He was involved in it. Coach Wyman Murray in 1970. How about that? 1970. It's only 55. Is that 55 years ago? So we shout out Lou Holtz today, and the sports world is a lot lighter today without the Coach Holtz. 89 years young. So a life well lived, Rick. A life well lived.
Oh, no question. Well said. We're going to have Coach Elmo on tomorrow to talk about all that. All right, so we've got pre-draft things going on. We've got some posturing going on from teams. You're starting to see tags be applied and tags not be applied, moving and shaking going on. What's the new cap? Do we get 10 million more, 15 more than last year?
I think it's somewhere between 10 and 15, Rick, and I agree with what you're saying. The posturing, let the games begin. So, So post combine, which I'm more of an okay person with combine than most, because I feel like combine is one of those things, not for the people who you already know is going to be fine. It's not who it's there for. You watch a tape of those games, you go to those games. It's for the second round, third round guys who don't get that shine. The Bowling Green guys, the Middle Tennessee State guys, go show and prove, that kind of thing. So we get past that, but Rick, what it really becomes is a meeting place for all 32 teams, or most of them, where they can work backdoor deals. And so it's become that a little bit too. You started to notice there's Kyler Murray getting released from the Cardinals. Not a surprise to you and I, but Rick, I'm weirdly enough, I weirdly enough, and I don't know why I feel this way. Maybe I'm just a sucker for these kind of exquisitely unique and quick and fast and shifty guys. I had a feeling he could end up in a place like Minnesota, on turf, with a guy like Gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the coach's name.
Kevin O'Connell.
Hello, coffee kick in. I get a feeling he could have a situation with him, Rick, where he can go up there and be a grown-up and have the same reclamation project that a Baker Mayfield had or Sam Darnold had, and he could get up there with Justin Jefferson, and they could be a problem if he gets up there in the trap. Now, there's no guarantee that he's going to get there. I don't think he's officially been released yet. I like that move for them. There's New England, who's letting Stephon Diggs go. Not a surprise there. They're not going to pay the big hefty salary there. There's a whole lot of talk about A.J. Brown reuniting with Mike Vrabel, going to New England. That would be one. Mike Vrabel spoke glowingly about him last week at the Combine during his interview. He says, we talk all the time. And, A.J. Brown could just be a guy that needs Vrabel. Because
I think so. Yeah.
And, Rick, you think about Stephon Diggs, who was, that was his 4th or 15th. But in New England this year, nothing. You heard nothing. Mike Vrabel doesn't suffer fools lightly. A.J. Brown may very well need that kind of guy. So that's one to keep an eye on as well as we start to do these franchise tag things. And, of course, there's Jerry Jones, who's, he's lobbing that media salvo out there. I'm going to spend money this year, and y'all going to see what I'm going to do. And they are lining up some money stuff. They reworked Dak's contract. They reworked C.D. Lamb's contract. And so now they're under the cap. So there's this whole deal out there with who are they going to go get? And how ironic would it be, as I close this quick segment out, if they were to take a look at Max Crosby? Now, how ridiculous would that be if they go get Max Crosby just a year after you let Michael Parsons walk out the door, 4 years as junior?
But I want him in Denver, David. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, I think you got a better chance of getting him in Denver than Dallas being a hypocrite and going to get Max Crosby when you had 4 years earlier a guy that was 4 years his junior, I should say, with Michael Parsons right there in the building, and you let him go. So I don't
love Max Crosby. God, I love Max Crosby.
Never quits. Listen, when the Raiders were wanting to tank and they were saying you're out, he was like, "Bro, I'm trying to play." And like they're the Raiders, they're not going anywhere but home. He is a football guy. Everybody loves football, loves Max Crosby. Whoever gets him, watch their teams play elevate. Not just the defense, watch their teams play elevate. He is a guy that can be a force multiplier, not just on the defensive side of the football. So those are a couple of the teasers, Rick, that I'm seeing going on out here right now. There's a whole lot more about to happen. And I believe it's going to be real interesting to see, and not to be left out. We still don't know, it's March, what Aaron Rodgers is going to do in Pittsburgh. And so I'm sure now we're only probably 6 weeks from the draft, maybe 7. And they got to get that figured out, no question.
Well, it feels like to me that with Mike Tomlin gone, with Aaron's affinity for Mike Tomlin, I don't know. He may decide he wants to play another year, but I guess it's going to depend on how he hits it off with Mike McCarthy. Who the heck knows? I don't even know what that relationship would look like, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see. But
he was on Pat McAfee yesterday. I saw clips of that. He just raved about McCarthy, and he talked about how much respect he has for him and how great their relationship was. And he spoke to the fact that, look at McCarthy with 3 jobs of the three of the most iconic franchises in the history of the sport. When you talk about Green Bay and Dallas and Pittsburgh. And so he spoke glowingly about him. And Aaron Rodgers isn't a guy that's going to do that if he's not really, he's not going to be disingenuous. He only knows one way to go. It's like he's going to call it like he thinks he sees it and that kind of thing. So I don't know if that means that he likes him enough to come play for him, or if he likes him enough at the job to be able to say, happy for Mike, but that doesn't mean anything for me. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, Tebow. Yeah, David just said, Patriots could be a good fit. There's no chance they'll get a number 1 first-round pick for A.J. Brown. Maybe
no.
Fourth would probably be the highest. May get 2 picks, maybe like a 4th in a late round. That's kind of what the market's looking like.
That's right.
For a receiver, an aging receiver like that who's perceived to be a bit of an issue in the clubhouse. But, I think he'll be gone. But I don't worry about the Eagles. They'll find somebody. They always do.
They have a great front office.
Fine.
They listen, the Eagles' problem isn't personnel. No, they've got dudes everywhere. The challenge for the Eagles is going to be when all these dudes come up to be paid, and they'll just flip the script again. They'll just cycle the guys out just like the Chiefs did with Trent McDuffie yesterday. He's been there. He was in the final season of his rookie deal, and Kansas City knew that the bill was coming due. What they do, he's going to sign a long-term deal with the Rams. Why is that? Because the Rams are in a win-now mode. The Chiefs are in a we need players more than we need one guy now.
Yeah, how about that? With Patrick Mahomes, they're basically kind of saying we're going to have to start this process over again. It was a little surprising. I saw a lot of discussion about that, but this is like the Chiefs almost waving the white flag saying we're going to have to go through this cycle. And even with Patrick Mahomes, how about that?
I wonder, Rick, if that's also feeling like he may not be ready to start the season. So why do we want to, I don't want to call it waste the season. Everybody's NFL careers are important. But why try in a season where the most force multiplier of all time perhaps is not going to be back yet? I'm just guessing this. We don't know. And I also think that they've got more needs than just getting Trent McDuffie there. Although Patrick Mahomes, from what I heard yesterday, wasn't thrilled about the fact he's going to lose an all.
I know. Like he didn't know, too. The post was like, he was like, what was it? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of like, what? Yeah, exactly. It was kind of one of those, which leads me to believe that he probably got a call right after that, or he probably called somebody. Y'all want to let me know? Yeah.
Did you hear?
I'm this Patrick. Yeah, I know who you are. Holler at me next time so I don't get blindsided by this. I don't need to get tweets about this. But so they're going to get a 5th and 6th round. I'm looking at this now, a 2026 5th and 6th round pick and a 27 3rd round pick for McDuffie, and that's fine and well and good. A 5th and 6th and a 27 3rd. Okay, you're getting bodies this year, and so you're gonna have to trust the front office that you can get impact players. They need help on that O-line. I know they made it. They got rid of, I think, one of their tackles. They moved on from because I know Patrick was not protected very well at all. I think the last couple of years he's been running for his life. He had one tackle that incessantly was in illegal motion just about every third play if you watch the Chiefs. So I think they feel like they got to get a few things going. But Rick, here's the thing with the Chiefs too. And of course they're in your division, so you know this. There's a lot of mock drafts that have them wanting to get Jeremiah Love, but the Chiefs are picking 9. There's a consensus out there, especially after, again, the combine that people don't like. But Jeremiah Love went out there and ripped it to shreds anyway, but he didn't even need to, and he did. There's a lot of people that feel like he won't be there at 9. If the Chiefs are going to get him, they're going to have to give up more of the kitty and move up to get him.
That's maybe what they're thinking, right? That might be their whole,
Maybe this is part of that package to get him. Now you're talking about being impacted that way, but just like we found out with Saquon last year, who ran for 2,000 yards in the season prior to the one we just wrapped up. Without that O-line being not good, without it being really good, you're not getting 2,000 yards. Patrick Mahomes can't throw from his backside. And if they don't get protection for him, you got Kelsey that's aging. Do they go tight end? You got to at some point have a contingency plan for some of these guys. And right now, I think the Chiefs are in a different area, Rick, than we've seen probably the last 6 or 7 years as they start to move through some of this. And when you start shedding all-pro cornerbacks, it kind of makes you wonder.
Is the potential, is the inevitable Kenneth Walker signing somewhere else, is that going to be like one of these gotchas because he's coming off the Super Bowl MVP? He's been hurt a lot. Is that going to be one of those that somebody's going to give him somewhere between 12 and 15 million a year, and then in about a year and a half we're going to go, ooh, in retrospect, that was probably just kind of a reactionary. I mean, I know he's a good player. Obviously, he's the MVP of the Super Bowl, and it's fresh on everybody's mind. But that seems like, to me, a dangerous amount of money to give to a running back who's already shown he can't stay healthy in college and now in the NFL.
This is one of those crapshoots to me, Rick.
I know.
Because it's one. I've seen it both ways. There's times when you can say, you know what? He's coming off of this. I remember Larry Brown, the cornerback for the Cowboys, winning the MVP of the Super Bowl. He got two gift interceptions.
Yeah, here you go.
And at that particular point, his stock was through the roof. He went and cashed in on it. He had got a few rings. Not sure I heard from him again. Not sure he made another all-league or anything.
No.
I remember it was Alvin Harper. It was the other receiver alongside Michael Irvin in Dallas, and they were rolling. And Alvin Harper, because of Michael Irvin and Novacek and Emmitt Smith and that great team, Alvin Harper felt like, I'm a one also. Okay, sure you – again, guys, listen, he decides – I think he ended up going to Tampa, and I'm not sure that we saw him at that level again or not. So you can't hate guys for wanting to cash in. If you're Kenneth Walker Jr., or Kenneth Walker III, I think it is. If you're Kenneth Walker, we'll call him that.
Yeah, this is,
he's Kenneth Walker, and a great season he had, and a fantastic postseason.
Sure.
I mean, he was not being tackled by one guy, and he led the charge for that Seattle team. It kind of makes you wonder, well, why wouldn't Seattle just say you can't leave the building? Why is that? Now, financially, we understand, but running backs don't command quite the number that it would be if you were a corner or if you're a tackle or an edge rusher. So I don't know, and maybe they're just being frugal and saying, if we give him this, we kind of going to have to do other things. And of course, Rick, if you start breaking down all the different positions and where they all cap out at and what the market is calling for, maybe they just saw the numbers not being there. But Rick, if you and I sit here on a Thursday morning and know that, clearly they know what they want to do, and they could have every chance to keep him. So to me, I think that they may just feel like maybe our system is good enough to make running backs that way. The Denver Broncos did that once upon a time. They said,
"Oh, I know.
It doesn't matter what running back you have. Mike Shannon, you can put – I think Rick could run back there in his 90s, and they're going to get 1,000 yards. Alex Guerra.
Mike Anderson was an all-pro.
Mike Anderson. They all running that zone read, that zone offensive running attack. Everybody was getting it. So maybe Seattle is feeling like the piece is not the whole thing. It's the sum of the parts that's better. But guess what? He's going to get paid. And we're going to find out by about September or October of next year that they hedged their bet the wrong way or did they hedge their bet in the right way. But that's I hate to see a guy, I just selfishly hate to see a guy that gives to that team, they win it convincingly, and then they kind of go, it's business. And so we're just going to kind of let you be a free agent. Yeah.
They seem to like the Charbonneau kid long-term.
Yeah.
UCLA, he got hurt, but they
got hurt
him long-term, cheaper, much cheaper. So I think, and you hit it on the head. If they're willing to say goodbye to the Super Bowl MVP that quickly, then
they have a plan. Well, Rick, and you also think about the Detroit Lions too. You're talking about David Montgomery, who clearly last year was the first year of the two-back system along with Jahmyr Gibbs. They didn't get all the touches that he longed for the first time. And if you notice, Detroit for the first time in a couple years didn't advance as far in the postseason. So they made a move to let David Montgomery go. I think he went to the Texans, I believe it is. Where he can go get what he needs because Gibbs has just shown they don't have to have the two-back system, even though they were together in that kind of system. So people are making these decisions now. They got to plug in these pieces to get better. And right now it is just silly season in a fun way because here's one for you, Rick. It's legit NIL. It's like it's real free agency, like people who we know can lead, people who we know we can keep. It's roster building. It's really where these GMs earn all their money. They're not going to sleep till about May until all this stuff gets resolved.
That's right.
I mean, listen, I'm glad you guys enjoyed all the games because right now this is where you're going to earn all your money. We got tags going on. We got franchise, this and that. And so it's exciting times. And even the Super Bowl champions aren't oblivious to it.
No, you're right. You're right. What else? Anybody else popping up? I don't see anybody taking Stephon Diggs for much of anything. What is he now, 33, 30, whatever he is, wide receivers at that age? You better be a Jerry Rice type of talent or Hall of Famer all-timer because it's going to be interesting. He keeps jumping around teams. I don't know what we're going to have. You think we're going to see a lot of trade activity? It seemed like last year we had a little bit more throughout the offseason than we had seen previous years.
Well, salary cap's gone up, first of all. So, there's going to be more. I think there's a lot of people who are feeling like, Rick, they can take more chances in the developmental space by getting young college talent and feeling like they can build a roster that way. You think about Seattle's defense, pretty young group right now, still a lot of them on their first deal. Not all, but a lot on their first deal mixed in with veterans. I think that has to be the formula. X amount of dollars. You're really good if you've got a cheap quarterback that you can build on or cheap roster, cheaper than expensive roster. You think about the Steelers, their defense was the most expensive in the league, and it's not getting better. I mean, you know what I mean? They did fine, but, at the end of the day, you're old, and you don't want to turn around and have an totally old roster.
Right.
I think the Patriots has a nice mix going on. They got some free agents, but they've got some nice young pieces too. And of course, they're still on a rookie deal with their quarterback. I think, Rick, it's going to be real interesting to see what Dallas does. I think I just mentioned that Dax restructured his deal. CeeDee Lamb restructured their deal. They're now under the cap. I'm real bullish on the Giants because I'm a Harbaugh fan. I really think they've got it. They've kind of got a nice mix there. They're a pretty young team. They've got a young quarterback, a second-year guy. You've got Scatterboo, right? You got Malik Neighbors. They've got pieces. You're in New York. They're the one to me that you may take a look at. Will they jump up and get Jeremiah Love? You know, Harbaugh likes to run the football too. You know, he's the guy that said Lamar Jackson could be my guy when nobody else said it, right? And he made the Ravens was the #1 rushing team forever in the league under his watch. And so, and talk about Tyler Latterbaum is also a free agent. That's Lamar's center. And so you talking about now there's a chance he may come back. So there's a whole lot of pieces moving around, Rick. I'm bullish on the Giants a little bit because I think the Eagles are going to have to make a move this year and really correct themselves. They're the most talented. But as you can tell, most talented doesn't always win. And I'm going to keep my eye on those LA Rams, who I really think are really loading up. They're angry they didn't get to the Super Bowl this year because they feel like they could have won it had they gotten there. They
would have.
I'm telling you, I think Matthew Stafford may be playing better now than he ever has. And
I know, man. I know.
I don't know if California Suns got him comfortable in the whole bit. And of course, Rick, your Denver Broncos. Let's get Bo Nix healthy and let's try to saddle this thing back up. I mean, do not sleep on the fact you had a 1 seed in the playoffs and a snowstorm and a quarterback injury away from going to the Super Bowl. And listen, get into that game. Who knows what can happen?
Yeah.
Who knows what can happen?
People are asking the attorney, Ryan Price, sponsor of our BDST fan question of the week. Who do the Vikings go with at quarterback? That's going to be JJ. I mean, they're committed to him, right? They cut a guy who just won the Super Bowl.
Well, Rick, do you think would you be committed to JJ?
No, I would cut him now and say we made a mistake.
We talked about this before when they let Sam Darnold walk out of the building after winning 14 games.
I'll never understand
listen,
it.
Kevin Connell, listen, I know you're the guru, but you don't have to be a guru all the time. Let your eyes be your guide. You just won 14 games and Justin Jefferson's happy. He's not happy right now.
No.
I think, Rick, that what you do exactly what Robert Kraft did when they had Gerard Mayo. Hey, you know what? We messed up. I know it's year one. We're going to take you off the hook and us. Here's the check. Thank you. You're still going to be a Patriot forever. Hey, Vrabel, come on in.
Come on back.
And guess what? And they're the better for it. Everyone's better for it. You couldn't have gone through. There's no need in continuing to ride this thing. I think, and just have him either sit in the background because he's still on the rookie deal. You can learn here. You can be our backup. I think that's why I bring up Kyler Murray. That's why there's a lot of folks that feel like they've got to make a move because if you don't, you're going to lose the best receiver in the game too. And that's not going to do you any good. And you got a great tight end as well. So to me, the answer is no. The Vikings are not going to, nor should they stay with JJ. That's my take.
I agree.
And it's your take too. It's your take too.
I don't know what else they're going to. They're going to have to find somebody to come in though, because there's this draft after Mendoza goes to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Good luck finding a quarterback.
No, it's going to have to be one of those sneaky ones that no one saw coming. That'll get into a game in October, and you'll turn and you'll go, he's throwing for 300. Who did he play for? Boise, or whatever. But it's not on the radar. You know, Tyler Simpson had a nice combine or whatever, and the second half of the year he was a little different. But other Mendoza and Simpson, there's a wide gap, and behind Simpson, an even wider gap. Now, next year, you can maybe feel different about it, but the whole Arch Manning thing, he's going to have to show and prove a little bit more for me to get there. He could get there, but right now, I think that's the reason why he's going back to school too.
Well, good stuff, brother, as always. Good breakdown, man. This will be fun every week to keep track of who's doing what and what's going on. Are you going to be down in Johnson City?
Can't make it, man. I've got duty here. It's going to be cool, though. I'm going to be watching. So you guys are 8:30 tomorrow night, and the ladies are 6:30 tonight.
It'll be around 9 probably, because after you go through all the, the games will run over, right? So,
we're
late night. We're late night tomorrow night.
Well, and we got
after hour.
And we got Presbyterian too, which is no joke. They got they got it right. Was it Pierce? Right? That's a post. They got it right with him on All Conference. I will say.
Yes, he is really, really good.
You had to be blind not to see that. He is really good, and we beat them twice. It's funny, Rick. We beat I think 4 teams twice, lost to 3 teams twice, and split with Longwood.
I know.
It's crazy. I looked at that and I go, how about that? And so
I know. It's weird.
That's kind of weird, but hopefully our guys are good to go. So we'll be watching from afar, man. Keep your phone handy. I'll be texting.
I will. I'll keep it up, brother. I'll keep it up.
All right, my man. Have a great one, man.
You too, man. Stay safe. Go family. Take care of your family. All right.
Yes, sir, buddy.
Later, brother.
Right. Yes, sir.
Good stuff. There you go. He's the best NFL analyst. Tell me he's not. You're not going to find anybody any better talking about it on any of these godforsaken networks or on X. David Smith, ladies and gentlemen. That gave you a better breakdown and gave you a better preview of anything you're going to see, because there's no agenda there. He's just breaking it all down because he absolutely loves following it, and he knows what he's talking about. You're welcome, America, for David Smith. America, you're welcome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, good luck, Minnesota. You blew it. You blew it. You blew it, Minnesota. Anyway, great stuff there. Great stuff there from David. Appreciate that a whole lot. We're going to keep it rolling along. Coming up, bottom of hour 2, Alex Guerra is going to join us. You do not want to miss that. The head baseball coach at Radford University. Talked to him at length yesterday. I said, Alex, look, man, if you're not ready to come on, everybody understands, right? And he wants to come on today, so don't miss that. And Dwight Vick after that. And you never want to miss Andy Bitter, who's joining us right now from Tech Sideline. What's up, AB? Good morning. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How you doing?
I've been better, when you lose one of your student athletes, it's a tough thing. We never have had it happen at Radford, so we're just all kind of trying to absorb it as best we can. I just feel so bad for the family and for that team right now. It's been a tough time, but we're getting through it. But, so you got a chance to talk to some assistants, man. That's pretty cool. What was your vibe of the guys? The guys pretty chill, pretty relaxed. What'd you like most of these conversations you had?
Yeah, I just like putting, a face behind some of the resumes that you've seen. I think that's always important when you're covering a beat, is to get some face time with these guys and talk to them about or not only football and their philosophies, but sort of their life story, how they get to certain places. I think, you get in the heat of the battle during practice and during games, especially in the fall, and everybody kind of locks up. Like it becomes so like, oh, this is a guarded secret and we can't talk about this stuff. I mean, this is early March. The stakes are very low right now.
Right.
Nobody's lost a game yet. So you can go in there and talk to these guys and, kind of get their life story, get their coaching philosophies, mix it all into one thing and just kind of have actual real human conversations with these people, which I always enjoy. And, that's kind of what I like writing about. So it was a fun hour-long session, which we could have had a little bit longer. We had to cram in quite a few guys in an hour to make the rounds to everybody. Didn't quite get to everybody, but it was a pretty productive session.
Well, good. And you can say, hey guys, see, we're not bad. We're media good. We're not necessarily bad. You can talk to us.
Right. Exactly. I mean, well, that's the other part of it is, you walk out in the practice field, you've talked to them before. They might remember who you are, maybe not, but at least it's not a completely foreign face that's sitting there watching them out there.
Yeah, you're right. I know Tech Sideline had James Franklin with them. And what were some of the reactions from some of your comrades there after having James Franklin in the studio?
Yeah, I think things were very businesslike.
Yeah.
He came in. I had to leave, so I said hi real quick, and then I was out the door. But he came in, did 30 minutes. When it was done, he was out. At that point, it wasn't like, sometimes you'll finish the pod, you sit around and like just kind of talk, shooting the breeze with everybody. And I don't think he's a shooting the breeze kind of guy. I think he's got a schedule and hey, this is what we're doing from this time to this time. And when it's done, I'll move on to the next task. And I don't feel he ever turns off the I'm the head coach switch. It's just always going. He's always on. It's always a very formal situation. Always like, I'm a head coach talking to you, the person that I'm talking to. And then when it's done, move on to the next thing. So I think that's just the way he operates. And, I think when you listen to him talking on that podcast, you can tell he's been a head coach before and a head coach in a major program. because he's not feeling his way out for these answers. He has a very specific vision of what he wants for this program. He's going to do everything he can to get to that point. And, that might come across as abrasive sometimes, but in his mind, it's just coming across as pushing for what he wants and what he needs for this program. Because he knows what it takes. He's been in this situation before. So I think sometimes, when you talk to Pry and before that talking to Fuente, those were guys that were still feeling their way out at the power conference level. And I don't sense that at all with James Franklin. There's no feeling out. He has a very specific vision, and he's going to go get it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You've talked to a lot of coaches, and you can tell guys who've done it or trying to learn how to do it as they go along as those who have been previous and understand what it takes, right? It is a different type of conversation, isn't it? No question.
Yeah, and as a reporter, that's fine. I don't mind talking to those kind of people. I'd like the opportunity to talk to those kind of people. So that was nice that we got him on the podcast for it. We had an over-under, I think. You're hoping for maybe 12 questions. I think it got in 10. So,
okay.
He gives long answers, but, packing 10 into a half an hour like that, I think that was about what we expected with that whole thing.
Any insight now to how guys are doing and what the program's going to look like as they get closer and closer to start, getting, spring workouts here officially underway pretty soon?
Yeah, it's tough to tell. I mean, I think even the coaches, we were talking to Sean Spencer, and it's like, I could give you an answer based on what I've seen on film from last year, based on, players that played at Virginia Tech or guys that played at other places, but I'd just be giving you an answer based on film, not on how they're actually performing. I have to get them on the practice field and, push them and test them and see how they can do. Before I could really give you an answer on how this team's doing. So right now they're lifting weights, they're conditioning. Every team is really good at that in the offseason. I mean, I've never heard of a coach come out and say, "Man, we really had a bad offseason." No, it's always a very productive, very helpful offseason. And then they're like, "Well, we'll build it on the next phase." It's like, I've heard all this before. So I heard all of it last year.
Yeah, next phase.
Last year, what did we hear? Jared Ferguson's running these guys all over the place. This is the hardest they've ever worked. You get to the summer, this is the most together this team has ever been. Then you get to the fall, they go 3-9. So you hear a lot in the offseason. Some of it doesn't quite matter. You have to get to the fall and play some good football.
Lou Holtz passed away. You followed college football a long time. I mean, he had an unbelievable career, didn't he? I mean, we keep losing these folks. I mean, I know the natural progression of life, but Lou Holtz was an all-timer, wasn't he? In turn, on the field and off the field.
He did. As a Minnesotan, there's a sort of there's sort of a strange relationship with Lou Holtz, because I think he was there for a year and then he left for the Notre Dame job, and I think he had it written in his contract specifically that if the Notre Dame job comes open, he could just leave. And it's like, okay, well, you had one eye out the door the entire time you're there. Not that any Golden Gopher fan can sit there and be like, "Oh, you left us for Notre Dame." Like everybody would have left that job for Notre Dame. Minnesota was terrible back in the day. So, I mean, legendary coach, got it done. Opinionated guy. Obviously, you see him on the college football shows and stuff later. And I remember, when you're in a position like that, you're a lightning rod for criticism. It's going to happen. So we're at where was it? It was at one of the SEC title games. And, they showed Lou Holtz on the crowd, and like both fan bases that were at the game, whether it was like Alabama, Florida, or maybe it was Auburn, South Carolina. I can't remember. It was Auburn, South Carolina, I think. Lou Holtz is on the board giving some pre-recorded message, and then both fan bases just start booing very loud. And like, believe me, they could have been saying Lou. No, they were saying boo. So it was a guy that elicited very strong reactions from both of the fan bases.
You're saying Boo Earns. I'm sorry. I started thinking about the Simpsons there. All right, we started talking NFL. You're a Vikings guy. We have a lot of people asking, what are your Minnesota Vikings going to do at quarterback? You would know better than anybody.
I know I don't. I have no idea what they're going to do. I don't know. Do you roll the dice with McCarthy again? He wasn't very good, but you've invested money in him, and that's sort of the benefit of having a guy on a rookie quarterback contract is you can then spend that money elsewhere. And you look at the defense last year; they were incredible. But you also don't want to sit here and waste the prime years of Justin Jefferson's career.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's out there all of a sudden. Tua's out there. Like, I don't like those options, but I didn't like the Sam Darnold option that much when they signed him. Like, it was a flyer. And look at how that turned out. And then they didn't re-sign him, and he goes and wins a Super Bowl. The Vikings historically have sort of been this, place where guys have, resurrected their career.
Yeah.
And you go back and Jim McMahon and Warren Moon and Randall Cunningham and Jeff George, Sam Darnold later on. I mean, these guys have come in there and been very productive later in their careers. Brett Favre
was
in
good.
There.
Yeah.
Should have won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Throws a stupid pick in New Orleans that still haunts me to this day. But I think you look at the way that coaching staff handles things, and O'Connell and his system. I think he works very well with any kind of quarterback. So career resurrection, it could happen. You look at it, Kyler Murray, it didn't work out at Arizona, but I think you put him in that coaching staff in that situation, I think he could actually put up some pretty good numbers with the Vikings. So maybe something to watch. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. Well, this time of year, it's just kind of like the who we don't know about what's going on with college football. The NFL is going to be a lot of moving and shaking going on. So what are you going to be focused on now after you get I know you're writing articles about the coaches and so forth.
Yeah, well, I think I got 7 articles.
Oh, wow.
The other day.
Sweet.
So, I talked to 6 different assistant coaches and then Chuck Losey. No L in that. Chuck Losey, the strength coach. So I think I can pull a story out of each one of those. Didn't get to Fontel Mines, didn't get to Matt Moore, but they've been around here, so kind of familiar with them already. And that'll cover 2 weeks here. Basketball's going on, so I'm actually going up to cover Virginia Tech UVA on Saturday.
Okay.
David Cunningham is down at the women's ACC tournament, and then spring ball will be upon us before you know it. And, we'll see what the availability is during spring ball, but that'll be something to write and talk about for over a month there.
And since it's a belabored topic, they have to win on Saturday, the game you'll be at. And then how far in the tournament do you think they need to go to be back on the positive side of things?
Who knows with the bubble? They have to win to be in the discussion. If they lose Saturday, they probably have to win the ACC tournament to get in.
Yeah.
Don't see that happening.
No.
If they win on Saturday, that's a pretty strong win for a bubble team. But if you're on the bubble, there's bid thieves out there. There's, conference champions that will come out of nowhere and all of a sudden they're stealing a spot. And then, it's one less spot in the tournament for somebody at the end in the bubble there. It's not where you want to be. So, you always say how many wins do you have to have in the ACC tournament? Who are the opponents, first of all?
Right.
If you're just racking up wins against a bunch of traffic cones, it's not going to matter. It's not going to improve your resume at all. And then how do the other bubble teams do? So there's no set standard of this is what they have to do. They just have to win games. They have to get as far as they can. They have to go out and win that game on Saturday, which would be very tough. I think.
Yeah, step one. Yeah.
UVA has won one game or lost one game in that building all year, and it was to North Carolina. And then on top of that, they got to get as deep into that ACC tournament as they can, and ideally be on the opposite side of the bracket from Duke, so that you don't run into that buzzsaw at some point early on. But go deep into that tournament, and then let the chips fall where they may at that point.
Brandon, I think I've already asked Andy that question. I asked you about a ceiling for wins, but I think you wanted to wait to get through spring, right? It's tough to say what this team might look like.
Yeah, I can never tell. The other part of it is I can never tell what the opponents will look like.
Precisely.
It used to be you could go into spring ball and sort of have an idea because there were, hey, this team recruited in this way, and this is what the returning players are. Now everybody turns over 30 to 40 players every year, and they're significant players. So you get to the summer sometimes, and you still don't know. I mean, I picked Wake Forest last in the ACC last year. They had won 9 games. Like, how stupid do I look doing something like that?
Right.
Yeah, it's really tough, and I think you can remake a roster very quick. I think the over-under is like 7.5 coming up this year. I'm probably under that right now. I still sort of a see it to believe it type person, and believe me, you have not been going poor by betting the unders on Virginia Tech over the last decade. They just have not lived up to any kind of preseason billing, save for like a year or two in there. 9 wins is within the realm of possibility. I mean, that'd be an incredible turnaround from a 3-9 team, but they have remade this roster, and James Franklin has a history of success. I think you look at his previous stops, it's not just like instant 10-win seasons where he goes. There's sort of a year where they're building up to it, where they get up to that level, and then it takes off in year 2, 3. Perhaps that's the same situation here. I don't know if that's enough historical context to tell you how they're going to do here, but I wouldn't go out there and expect like 10 wins this season. I think that'd be asking too much.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we'd have to wait and see. It's tough. Like you said, the Wake Forest thing blew everybody away, though. I mean, nobody saw that guy coming in from the West Coast. Nah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, Jake Dickert, he's a heck of a coach.
He is. He's good. Well, man, have fun in Charlottesville. It's never a bad place to go down to the JPJ. Beautiful place to watch a basketball game. No
I was there when it opened. I haven't covered a game there since 2008. So 18 years, sadly. I'm doing the math now, and I'm like, oh, man. I'm getting old with this stuff. But
how old?
It's been 18 years since I covered a game in that building. So
absolutely. Fun. Yeah, all right. Well, have fun, man. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Be good, brother. Take care, man. There you go. Andy Bitter from Tech Sideline. Good stuff. He'll be in Charlottesville for the game this weekend. Tech and UVA. Step 1, beat UVA. Step 2, TBD. That's kind of where we are on all that right now. But Andy does a great job. Like you said, he likes to tell stories when he writes the articles, so that's good. Those will be good. Look for those coming up over on Tech Sideline, right? Look for those coming up. I want to thank all of our sponsors once again. Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. James Lawson's been doing it since 1997, 381-8011, 25 years plus now for the NRB Super Bowl. If you haven't been in it, you're missing out. Again, we're going to do our bash over there after basketball season. 382-5525. Give them a call. Ask for prices and lane rentals and all that stuff. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. Again, we're welcoming Sundown Electric to the program this week, our latest sponsor. Thanks to all those folks out of Elliston. Look at this great logo they have. See the sun? See, that's the sun, and it's starting to go down behind the buildings. Therefore, Sundown Electric. Clear communication, honesty, integrity. I've talked to 7 or 8 people, and every one of them are just like, man, oh, man, they are the real deal. So we want to thank them for joining us and helping out on the program. The Ready, Set, Fun. Thanks so much to Bob Christ. Again, it's a terrific thing that I didn't know a lot about until Bob explained it to me, and then I looked it up. If you're trying to raise some money, man, it's a text message series, and it's been effective everywhere they've done it. So make sure you head out and let them be part of what you want to do. Professional Door Incorporated. Can't say enough about Travis Williams. First of all, he's a terrific dude. I mean, a terrific guy. And he has one of the best businesses in the New River Valley because they care, craftsmanship, precise. They do the best they can with pricing to work on that with you. I mean, professional, residential, commercial garage doors, better than anybody. 38 years in business says it all. No question about it. Want to thank National Bank in Blacksburg. National Bank is my exclusive banking partner of the program. I'm doing some refinancing right now, working with Jamie down there, and she's terrific. They are the best. If you need a new bank at some point, I'm telling you, I can't vouch for National Bank anymore. And not just because they're sponsoring the program, but because it's just true. The attorney Ryan Pry in Radford, 701 West Main Street in Radford. My own attorney, Richie Davis, says that Ryan's the best in the trust and estate planning in the biz. So if you have any questions for him, give him a call. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Charles Lee, speaking of the best they do, and I used them last year. We just passed the year mark where I was on a basketball trip and lightning. Remember that weird lightning storm last winter? Hit my units, boom, boom, boom. It was terrible. They came, assessed, got it done with homeowners, gave me a great price, and the units have worked great. It saved me money. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Stacy Compton's on Monday, and he's going to be a regular part of the program, IHRA. Can't wait for that. Thanks so much to Jonathan Sweet, Tim Miller, the presenting sponsor of this program, and everything that they're doing. And I want to be able to take the show on the road and follow some of the great things we're doing. I want to be out there like for a race, and I think I will. I think I'm going to do that. That's going to happen. We'll figure it out. We'll just figure it out. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hunley, right off of Walters Drive, 155 Walters Drive in Christiansburg, Peppers Ferry Road. He's the absolute best. Go see Marco. And Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner. Now I'm going to look like Bane again, according to Wayne. Hey, Buckman, you will fall. Family Fencing, the weather's warm. It's going to be warm for a long time, it looks like. We got daylight savings time going in the positive direction on Sunday. Longer days, you're going to want your yard. You're going to start looking around and going, okay, this is what I'd like done. Give them a call. Give Jason Green a call. They'll come out and assess. It'll be absolutely free. Absolutely free. And so thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors. Couldn't do it without you. If you know anybody who wants to help out the program, please send them our way. We would love to have an opportunity to help their business, and it would help me a lot. It was great. It was great. I do, but I've got the shade shut today. Yeah. I thought ahead of time. Yeah, I know. Sun is covering up the different place. So just leave it. But you notice it's not covering up the Rocky Balboa playbill. That is uncoverable. Bane is good. I call it RoboCop. Oh, no, I have not. I got to put that on here. I found a cool poster. Yeah, I got to put that up. Yeah, we'll be mowing sooner than later. But my theory is I never mow before April, and I never mow after October. If you get to November, I'm not mowing. It's not going to be around too much longer anyway. Yeah. It's not NIL, Vic. It's pay for play, and it's destroying college athletics. That's my thoughts on it. We talk about it all the time. NIL does not exist. NIL is what everybody continues to kind of circle back to because that was the original plan. Name, image, and likeness. This is not. Original plan was if you were a kid and you could go into college and you could create deals for yourself, right? And they could go and they could say, hey, all right, car dealership, if I get on here and vouch for your vehicle, can I have a new car or maybe get a kickback? Sure you can. Name, image, and likeness. If my name is part of a video game, Ed O'Bannon case was based on all that stuff, you would get a cut. This is now, how much money do you want to come be our quarterback? It's pay for play. It's not NIL. Everybody's going to get it wrong for a while until the new pay for play thing becomes more modern, but that's what it is. That's what it is. 100%. Alex Guerra is going to join us here coming up, the head baseball coach at Radford. And the emotions are still raw. So I hope everybody gets ready. Get ready. He's just going to tell the story of what they've been going through, what he's been going through. I know Joe Rakuya and he are so close, former Joe coached him. He was an assistant. And it was, it still is very, very emotional thing going on. I talked to him yesterday and I said, hey man, if you want to punt on this for a while, let me know. Everybody will understand, but he wanted to come on today. So we will do that here in just a second. You don't want to miss that. And then Dwight Vick, who we couldn't have on last week because he had to go into, he had some kind of special work thing going on for a couple days. So we'll have him on today too. Absolutely. Thank you. Everybody on the professional door text line. Enjoyed David Smith tremendously. He was great. Yeah, he is. He is. We had a different show here. We called it Sports and More, and then we didn't get a chance to really – we couldn't consistently both be there. We got to figure that out. It was an hour-long show. We had a few episodes, but, yeah, I would like to do more and more stuff with David, no doubt about it. All right, I'm sending Alex his invite right now. I think the complaints around Merriman, not the public being locked out, was that even folks within the building couldn't go in. That's what that whole thing was. I mean, clearly you're going to lock them out. You're going to lock the public out. That just makes sense. That's not that big a deal. I think it was the fact that student athletes couldn't utilize the area. I think that was what was the big controversy for a while. Morris says a young Lou Holtz would have been a great college football commish. His one-liner, deprecating humor. Yeah. I still don't know who's going to ever have any authority to appoint a commissioner. I know it sounds great. We went off on this the other day. I just don't see it. I don't see how anybody's going to step up and be a leader. There's no leadership in college athletics. And I'm the last guy to say we need government regulation, but I don't know how else you're going to get it. Vic, I don't know how else you're going to get it. How is pay for play ever going to be reeled in? You tell me. If anybody has an answer, let me know. Because right now, nobody seems to want to be doing anything about it. Even the have-nots, they just kind of like, we'll just let it go. We'll get who we can whenever we can. It's easy to say. It's easy for people to say that guy should be the commissioner or Nick Saban. We went through all that. Who's gonna appoint it? Somebody tell me who's going to appoint it, and who's going to have any authority to say, well, he's going to have say over this conference and that conference. Nobody, absolutely nobody, is going to be able to do that. So. That is my take on it. But he would have been. You're right, Morris. You're right. If it would have been somebody who could have appointed somebody, it would have been. He would have been a great candidate for it, 100%. All right, we want to thank David Smith, and then we want to thank Andy Bitter coming up, Dwight Vick, but joining us now on the program. Make sure he's I can see him in the green room. Make sure he's settled, ready to go here. All right. Thumbs up, baby. Get ready, because here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Alex Guerra, the head baseball coach at Radford. What's up, AG? How you doing, brother?
What's up, Rick?
I know how you're doing, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. We've been talking about this, obviously, and everyone in chat, everybody on our text line. First of all, they send all their thoughts and prayers toward the Rakuya family, your program, your players. This is an unfathomable thing, and you're getting this team through it, you and your staff. I'm telling you, what I watched this past weekend was nothing short of a miracle, how that team was able to go out and play, given everything. And there's a lot of kudos that go around. But I know it's still raw, brother, but just talk about what this has done, what this has meant, and what this week has been like for you and your staff, and obviously with your relationship with Joe and his family. Yeah,
it's been I think unfathomable week. It's been tough for sure. I think really hard to put into words. Anytime something like this happens, it's tragic and it's horrific, right? But obviously, personally for me, it's definitely been tough. I mean, I had the pleasure of knowing and watching Joey grow up. From when he was a little squirt, climbing around, the dugout and on the bus, and so obviously the personal relationship there with Joey and Joe and Jody, his parents, and Emma and AJ, and it's tough. It's a very, very tragic situation. He was my buddy. It's kind of the best thing I could tell for everybody. In describing my relationship with him, like he was my buddy, and he was my buddy when he was 7, and he was my buddy when he was 19, hitting him ground balls and watching him grow into this tough, competitive, edgy, hell of a player. I was so proud of him, and when he went to PDG and he went and made that change there and decided to just get a different scenery and a place where he was really going to be challenged, he really became a different player. And when he came to college, he was prepared. And Joe and I talked about it a lot. Like he was better than we thought he was when he showed up on campus. To Joey's credit, he was very, very adamant about making his own way and making sure that he was treated like every other player. He never wanted me to talk to him for too long in front of the players. Even if we're, it could be during BP or during infield stuff. Like he really wanted to make sure that he earned everything. And he did that, man. Like he showed up, he led our team in, or I think he was third on our team in hitting in the fall. He was one of our top 5 hitters. Could play all over the infield. And I'm gonna really, really miss him. It's kind of surreal to think like, oh man, you're telling stories about this kid and you're not gonna see him in the flesh anymore. But no, this week's been very tough, very challenging. Joey was a great teammate. The guys loved him. He had a very, very unique and just personality to where if you knew Joey, you knew it just fit him perfectly. That little side smirk that he would give, very dry with his humor. And he impacted a lot of people, and I think it was reflective of that on Monday at his service with the amount of people that obviously showed up and spoke highly of him. But our guys are tough, man. They're resilient. They've provided strength to a lot of people, including me, including our staff. I think they understand the uniqueness of the relationship that Joey and I had, but so I think we're all supporting each other. We're all getting through it one day at a time. But my heart and my prayers, obviously, and my support is obviously with Joey's family. I can't even imagine what they're all going through. Joe, Jody, AJ, Emma, Michelle, and the entire extended family. It's tough. Joey's a special kid, and he impacted a lot of people. So a lot of people are hurting for sure.
When, of course, your attention immediately had to turn toward your team. And I know you had a great session Thursday in terms of the guys being able to get together. They had counselors available, whatever they needed. And take us into it. I know, and you just said, hey, whatever the guys want to do, we're going to do. If we want to play Bryant, we're going to play Bryant. If we don't want to play Bryant, we're not going to play Bryant. And Bryant was great, just saying, you guys do what you want to do. But talk about how the guys came together when they said, hey, it was I think I heard it was unanimous, right? Guys wanted to go out and play that series last weekend.
Yeah. There's no manual on this. I'll tell you that right now. And I wish,
Nope.
I wish no coach in the country to ever have to go through something like this. As far as because you have this tragedy with one of your players, and now all of a sudden it shifts, and now you got to think about, we're going to play a baseball game right now. Like that's literally the last thing on anybody's mind. But that's what you got to do. You got to be able to just take care of the things that are in front of you and as best as you can in the moment, right? So, Bryant is already, they're already on their way. They were coming from Clemson. I don't think we could have played a better staff or a better team than Bryant. Ryan Klosterman is a guy that I worked with. I lived with him at UCF for 2 years. Special dude. Was totally sympathetic to the situation, and basically was like, hey, man, whatever you guys want to do. If you need to play a game, only 2, whatever it may be. If we need to reorganize the schedule. So we kind of, went into crisis management mode. The first part was telling the team, obviously, on that, on that Wednesday, which was tough, very, very tough. And then, we gave the guys the rest of the day to just kind of be with each other. We had dinner that Wednesday night along with the softball team. Joey's girlfriend was on the softball team, as well. So we wanted to make sure we could support them as well as best as we could. And then, Thursday morning we decided to meet as a team at 12 o'clock after talking with, Corey and Robert, and put everybody in a room and said, what do you guys want to do? This is up to you. You guys got to feel comfortable with this. And it was unanimous. Every single guy raised their hand. And we reiterated to them, like, if there's a guy in here that just can't do it, I get it. Totally get it. Joe loved baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he loved baseball. Like this, he loved the grind of it. He loved the struggle of it. He really did. Last night we were over at Joe's house, and we were just, we're telling stories, and his whole family was there. I said, Joe, remember the time when we were taking ground balls? And I didn't even have to finish the story, and just started laughing. And he was literally punishing himself because he wasn't catching a ground ball a certain way.
Right.
And Joe and I were talking about a double play feed to his right, where taking certain angles, and he was fighting us on both of them. And he just wasn't getting it. This was a while ago. This was, the summer of going into his second year of PDG or first year of PDG, whatever it was. And he's taking the balls and he's throwing them into the outfield. He's throwing them in the outfield, and it's like, I'll get them later. I'm punishing myself. And it was just, that's just how bad he wanted it. Like he wanted to be great on every single rep. And if he didn't get it, he'd work until he got it. And there was frustration that built in there. And I think really, really good players have a little bit of that edge to them. And that punishment was he had to go pick up all the balls after by himself.
Sure.
Joe and I looked at each other and said, I'm not picking those. I ain't picking them. So the point of that is that Joey would have wanted us to play. Yes. He would have wanted his teammates to go out and play. He would be up there smirking like, don't go play.
Yeah.
What are you worried about me for? Like, go win the game. Go execute. Go play hard. And so we did. And I felt like, in this moment, as tough as it is, like this is an opportunity for all of our players to learn a life lesson. Like tomorrow's coming. Tomorrow's coming. And we're going to have tough days. You have tough days as a team. You're going to have tough days individually with this, right? But you just got to keep it one day at a time. You got to stay present in the moment. You got to deal with whatever's in front of you. You got to deal with the emotions that you're going to have in front of you. And know that you got a lot of people that support you and love you and are going to be there for you. Under the circumstances, I thought our administration and everybody on campus was just unbelievable. Robert and Corey they just did a great job supporting our team, getting into crisis management mode. Schiff and Chad in the athletic training, and the rest of the athletic training staff, and the counselors on campus, Bruce, the dean of students, and his staff, unbelievable job. Just their true love and support for our players. I mean, they were down in the locker room for probably 2 hours, just sitting there, just seeing if anybody needed anything.
Sure.
The other sports teams that came and supported us, the other head coaches that reached out. I mean, through this tragic moment, I think Radford showed up as far as the love that everybody had for us and how much of a family we are. And it was awesome. And it was very much appreciated, and it helps. It really does. Those little messages, or just the presence of people, it helps you get through it.
And then, speaking of Joey smirking, what happened Friday night felt like more than baseball, to be perfectly honest with you, with the rally with 2 outs and Brady Whitaker, and the fact that it was hit right back up the middle, right over the second base bag. And I had to get off the air as quickly as possible because I had to come down there and just see everybody. And it was just tears were all over the place. Can you talk about that moment and then the explosion of emotions that came out? That's going to be the greatest dog pile you may ever have in your coaching career after that win on Friday.
Yeah, that was I don't even know how to describe it. It was pretty insane. It was wild. I mean, no leads off with a single. They throw the ball away on a pickoff, so now you got a runner at second, nobody out. And do I bunt? Do I not bunt? And I was like, you know what? Screw it. Like, it was 4 left-handed hitters coming up.
Yep.
Like 4, and it was, in my opinion, our top 4 left-handed hitters, and go let it rip. Sonny struck out. Joey's roommate came up. I legitimately thought he was going to hit a home run.
I did too. I said,
this is like, is there anything better than this right here? He had a good at bat, but he struck out. So now we got 2 outs, runner at second, tying run on. Brecken comes up with the open base. They obviously kind of pitch around him. He walks. Now we got first and second. Hodge is up and gets down 0-2, works the count, and the kid that was pitching was really good.
He was good.
He was really good. Really good slider, good changeup. Yep. And then he came out. He got hurt. He came out in a 3-2 count. And I remember coming back over going, that's when I first had a weird feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
When I was coming off the field for the pitching change. This is weird. Full count? I was like, there's no way this kid's going to come in and throw a strike. Just I didn't say anything about it. I'm just in my head. I'm like, there's no way.
It made sense.
There's just no way. He walks Eli. So now we got the bases loaded up. And that's when I realized, like, okay, we're going to win this game, even though we were down 1. And then as soon as Brady Powell got hit and we tied it, and I looked over, I was like, who's up? I was like, oh, shoot, it's Bewick. And then once Brady was coming up the plate, I knew the game was going to be over.
Yeah.
It was just too perfect of a moment. I thought that we had a little extra pat on the back, a little extra help from there was some divine intervention there for sure.
No question.
I don't think there would have been a better person than Brady in the moment.
No.
Brady received the Kevin Scott Memorial Scholarship in the fall.
Right.
Who in 1986, he passed away in a car accident. He's a Radford baseball player, a freshman. Brady got his award. I mean, he's our team chaplain, basically. He runs Bible study every week. If there's a person that the good Lord is going to put in a good position and say, you know what? Go ahead. You're going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be you. Yeah.
I joked with him. I was like, Jesus is hitting, not Brady. He was
right. Working through.
And
yeah.
And as soon as he hit it, I was just like, I couldn't. I was like, holy crap, we won.
And then it was just euphoria.
Yeah, it really was.
It was just,
you wanted to like really, truly celebrate, right? But then it's like you quickly, like I was obviously happy we won, but I was just so like unbelievably, I couldn't believe the moment. Like it was just, there's no way that just happened type of thing. I think that was what was, we were kind of celebrating. We were celebrating the fact that like Joey was with us.
Yes.
The fact that we won. Like Joey, like definitely was there guiding us and helping us. And you just felt that eerie presence of something else there.
No doubt.
I don't know how to describe it. And then you just quickly, but the other part of it, of him not being here, obviously it quickly resets back in your head. But for that moment, for those guys to be able to experience that was awesome.
It was.
I think the battery just kind of ran out a little bit for the next 2 days. I don't think we executed very well by any means, but that happens. I mean, it is what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How's it gone this week now as you try to get them ready to play, big series coming up this weekend? You got a couple opponents, and Western Carolina just beat Georgia yesterday. I mean, you got another good competition level, but
unbelievable. What a game.
Yeah. I know. How about that?
What a game last night. Yeah, this week's been good. This week's been better than what we had originally scheduled. We were going to go to West Virginia on Tuesday, Wednesday. And we had Joey's service obviously on Monday. Right. It was raining, and we were originally scheduled to, before this trip, we were going to leave in the morning, or before everything had gone down. But Joey's service, we were going to leave at 8:30 after. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, man, I don't really love the weather right now. We talked to them over there, and they wanted to kind of move the game up or move it back, and we couldn't move it back. But I did not want to leave at night, so it started out as the weather. And I was okay. Well, let's leave at 6 a.m. And I was talking to Corey and Schiff about it. In the video room, we were going back and forth, and I was like, all right, well, let's just change the bus to 6 a.m. on Tuesday. And I had this hangnail on my finger. I just kept ripping it. I kept bleeding, and so I went in there with Schiff, and I looked at him and I said, Schiff, like, what are we doing? He goes, I have no idea. And Schiff's kind of like my Tom Hagen to he's the Tom Hagen to my Al Pacino.
Sure.
Al Pacino. So he'll hit me straight. So when Schiff says, yeah, I don't know. That's when I realized, I said, we're canceling. And he looked and said, I think that's a great idea. So I called him up. I said, listen, man, we're not coming. I just think this is too much. I wanted to play. Initially you look at it, you go into coach mode, like, okay, well,
sure.
We've got the weather. What can we do differently? Let's try to get these games in. I told Bewit the next day, I was like, hey man, I'm sorry. We couldn't give you the opportunity to play West Virginia, because obviously he's from there, and I know that would have been a huge full circle moment for him to be able to play on that field against him. But I just felt like we needed to recharge the batteries, man. Like we really did. We did not need to play this week. I just felt like we needed to be with each other, have some light days, and just rest. It's an emotional we've been on an emotional roller coaster. We've got some guys that are kind of dinged up a little bit. Hunter Keene, BP's got some, they've got some tight hammies. They'll be out this week, unfortunately, but great opportunities for guys to step up.
Yeah,
get
sure.
Get some of these younger guys get their feet wet. So the last couple of days have been good. We've had some productive practices. We've been able to work on some things with some of these hitters, just to kind of recalibrate themselves a little bit. And then we'll leave today. Today, 1:00. We'll head down to Charlotte, and we'll practice this evening at 4:30. Playing two great teams. Western Carolina is 9-3 now, I believe.
Yeah,
we just beat Georgia.
Yep.
The number 11 team in the country in an unbelievable game. Like, holy crap. Christian and I were sitting there talking, and when they went up 6-4, we call it the triple M, which is the mid-major meltdown. It's coming. And then I mean,
that reliever's not going to hold the lead, is he? Yeah.
We watch these things enough, right? Like every week you see like a mid-major team that has they've got the lead, and it's like you're on a roller coaster, and you're just like, hang on, big guy. Like just hang on. So Georgia hit the grand slam in the bottom of the 8th. And then we were texting, like, here it is. Unbelievable. And then I turned it off. I was at the office because Heather and I were going over to my parents' house for dinner. And I got home, and I was like, let me just see what the score is real quick. And I turned it on. This is no joke. I turned it on, and it was a 1-2 count, and they had the bases loaded, and they threw a breaking ball, and a kid hit the grand slam for Western to go up. And then the way that the bottom of the 9th had finished up was, to finish it up on replay. But, between them and Charlotte, those are two really good teams. Both teams that are pretty offensive. So obviously we've got our work cut out for us. I think it's a great challenge, especially for our pitching staff, to be able to face some of these lineups and
sure, absolutely,
get us prepared for next week when we open up conference play. So I think being on the field right now is our safe haven. I think it's a good opportunity for us to kind of get out and take our mind off it a little bit.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And kudos to you and your staff, my friend. I mean, like you said, there's no manual. For any of this, but you've seen these guys through this to this point, and you're right. Getting on this bus and heading back down, any sense of normal, that's going to be the most normal thing they've had for a whole 8 days. So
for sure,
it'll be a good thing for them. So
we'll change the scenery will be good for them as well.
Yeah. Get out of town. Yep. Well, brother, thanks for jumping on, man. That you guys are in our thoughts and prayers, this community here on the show. Everybody is with you. And I told you yesterday, I know it sounds like an empty thing, but if there's ever anything I can do or anybody can do, just let us know. We'll do it. We'll be there for you. So,
yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for your thoughts, prayers, messages. It means a lot. And appreciate everybody's support. And appreciate you, Rick. Thanks, man.
No, thanks for jumping on, man. You guys be safe, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, buddy.
Take care, brother. There you go. Joe Rakuya. Alex Guerra. It's Joe Rakuya, who played for and then coached with Joe Rakuya. And great story there with Joey. And I like the fact he said he was telling stories with Joe. That's really cool that he was able to, they can talk about it. And something I didn't mention with Alex is I didn't think I could get through it. Before the game on Sunday, Alex took Joey's father, our longtime coach, out to the team, and he spoke with the team. And it was a wonderful thing, a wonderful moment to see, and very special, very special. And I started just bawling up in the press box when I saw that. So, but Alex is what he has done in that staff, folks. It's incredible. And kudos to him and his staff. And the pain that, like he said, I mean, he's kind of like one of the surrogate relatives of the whole family. So we all watched Joey grow up, bat boy on our championship teams. And it'll end up being one of these things where it's going to be galvanizing. As he said, it's been galvanizing, I think, for the whole Radford community, our athletic department. But this team's going to continue on now and play for the memory of Joey. And that will not go away. These are terrific young men. At some point, I hope we can get to meet some of them here. That was going to be the plan, but things obviously a little altered now. It's in their own time. These are very true representatives of student athletes at Radford University. They are the true embodiment of what a Highlander is about. If anybody gets a chance to meet these guys, if you come out to the ballpark, you're going to see what I'm talking about. They're a very special group, and this season's become even more special, obviously. So thanks to Alex for coming on today. It was great to be able to talk to him. And thanks to everybody who's reached out, too. It's almost hourly on our text line. Everybody's thinking about this team. And, it's great. It's terrific. One of the worst thing that can happen, and how Alex and his staff have gotten this team through it is incredibly admirable. It really is. It really is. And Joe, your family, we're praying for you, thinking about you. And this is something that's going to be part of this going forward. And but Friday night was a special thing, and it was without a doubt. It was something else going on. Something else was going on. So, yeah. But thanks to Alex for coming on, and we hope they go down and get some wins this weekend against two really, really good baseball teams. All right. Coming up in just a second, we're going to have Dwight Vick on. And, we haven't had a chance to talk to Dwight since Roniel Whitaker passed away a couple weeks ago. So we'll get into that with Dwight. He was very close with Roniel. And we're going to talk to him coming up here in just a little bit. But thanks to Alex for coming on. Great stuff. Great stuff. Trying to answer some of these. I'm getting a lot of text messages. People really enjoyed that conversation. So thank you. I'm going to thank him. All right. Segueing into Dwight here when he jumps on. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractor chat room. Those continue to chime in on a professional door text line. Yeah, go get a win in Charlotte, indeed. Two good teams. Charlotte's really good. Western Carolina just beat Georgia last night. But he's right. Getting the team out of town probably is going to help. Any little thing to help. And getting them on the field, that's their haven, man. That's why they wanted to play this weekend. So, no question. And the other part of it is Joey would have been very angry if they decided not to play. What do you mean you're not playing baseball? Of course you're going to play baseball. So I know that would have been the case. But I don't know. I mean, there's no words you can say. There's nothing you can do. You just get through each day. The next day's coming, as he said. And you try to get ready for it as best you can. That's not always going to work, but you try to get ready for it as best you can. And somebody who deals with these type of things and the emotions involved joining us now. He is the man who's brought Victory Life into the forefront. He helps people on a daily basis. He's Dwight Vick. What's going on, DV? Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you and your listeners and your following.
Well, it's good to have you. It's good to have you. Hey, I want to talk about Roniel here in just a second. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to talk with you last week. But, with what's happened, at Radford University with our baseball program when you lose a student athlete. Have you ever had to deal with that? Is that something that you've had to talk to an athletics community about, or coaches and so forth? I mean, is that something that has come into your wheelhouse?
I didn't deal with it as a player. I dealt with it when I was at Virginia Tech, obviously, where I'm from, Hampton and Newport News area, the 757. I had peers or friends that lost their life, whether it was to something tragic or, a murder, or a situation where they died prematurely due to a health ailment. But as a professional, as an adult, I've dealt with this several times, and it's part of the cycle of life. It's very difficult. Um, I've never really been in a position where I had to like go in front of a team. It's more so been like individual therapy. I provided therapy too, but you know, I have to actually speak at Ron Yale's funeral coming up here soon. So I got to prepare myself for that. I've done that for people. That is, I lost quite a few teammates since I've been done playing, and I've had to attend their funerals and a few times speak. When you lose somebody or when there's a tragedy, there is no healing process as far as words are concerned that are going to make someone feel better for that moment. It just takes time. It's no different from um, when you go through something disappointing or there's a loss, right? Whether it's a divorce or your parents are divorcing, or it's a situation in which you just aren't yourself. When you lose someone, you just have to just go through the process of you go at your own pace, right? So for some people, they can lose somebody and go right back to work, right? And then for somebody else, it could take them months. I lost one of my best friends, Joe Casuccio. He was a walk-on at Virginia Tech. I lost him in 2005. That's over 21 years ago, and I still miss him, and I think about him often. Um, my condolences to the Radford University, the Radford University school, and everyone involved in this. I know it's extremely difficult. Um, I pray for all those guys, women, men, everybody involved, because it's hard. Like that's the hard part when you're young, is that you feel like you have your whole life ahead of you, and you have a sense of innocence, and then you realize through your journey of life that it's not promised to anybody. So that's why I teach mindfulness, being in the moment, being able to experience and not lose sight of the bigger picture, not get consumed with all the negatives we can find out in this world. But you have to stay aware, but you also have to um, create positivity and positive vibes and energy in your own life, so you don't be overwhelmed by that, because eventually you're going to have to deal with that, right? So if that makes sense to you, what I'm saying, but that's kind of how I've dealt with it, and also helped others deal with it.
No, it's well said. It's well said. I think it's terrific advice. And any little thing like that, is good. Is good. All right. Well, let's talk about what you've been dealing with, and many people in the tech community with Roniel Whitaker. I know you've been showing clips and things of that nature. And I mean, how did that hit you, man, when you got the news about Roniel and his passing?
2 weeks ago, I was headed to Alexandria, Virginia. As you all know, I live in Northern Virginia, by way of the 757, and I was going to see my youngest daughter play a volleyball tournament at St. James, and I'm in a Virginia Tech football group chat with a ton of former players from the '90s, late '90s and 2000s, and I parked my car in the St. James parking lot. I grabbed my work bag. Just to take you back, it was the day Duke and Michigan were playing in that big showcase up here in D.C. I almost went to that game, but my daughter had a volleyball tournament, and my wife was down at Charlotte to see my son at Wingate. And I parked the car, and I just put my bag over my shoulders, and I'm walking, and I get an alert, and I look down, and it says, "Rest in peace, Roniel Whitaker." And I was like, what the? I was like, these guys are trolling. I thought it might have been something where they were showing an old clip of, something he did. And then I saw the prayer emojis and the broken heart. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? So I literally sit on the steps. It's kind of cold outside. I sit on the steps and I'm looking and I'm like, this cannot be real. The shock overwhelmed me. Mind you, I got to go into a building and watch my daughter play and deal with other parents and people looking at me. So I'm literally fighting back tears. I'm also shocked. He's only 46 years old, a few years younger than me. So I know I don't, he's someone I love. We're close. I didn't really know of anything he was dealing with. So the first thing is what happened, right? And then you don't want to speculate. And then I'm sitting there processing it. And then I later found out that it was from, a brain aneurysm. His family found him in a car outside, I don't know where they found him at. I don't want to speculate, but I just immediately went into kind of like notifying a few people who may not know. I did talk to text Coach Foster and Brian Steinspring. I know Steinspring was in charge of the recruiting the Taiwood area. He recruited Roniel, and Bud Foster coached him. So I hit those guys up immediately, and they were just shocked and overwhelmed with emotion as I was. And then I just went into the building and kind of got myself together, and I watched my daughter play. She played great. That made me feel better. And I was able to kind of decompartmentalize and sit in the gym and just kind of focus. And then, I'll be honest with you, Rick, and your listeners and viewers this morning. And then you kind of get that, and this is just like people want to know what's going on. I eventually posted on Facebook, and when I did that, it was just to make people aware on Twitter as well.
Sure.
I probably posted online before the NFL, before the Virginia Tech football kid. I think I was the first one. Not that I'm getting credit, but just more so, I didn't realize I was that first person. And then Andy Bitter and a lot of people with David Till and them, everybody started, confirming and posting it as well. Bill Roth reached out to me. He covered Roniel, the voice of the Hokie. So there were a lot of people that were concerned and just shocked and just disappointed. But what I was referring to earlier before that is that then you have there's a contingency of people that want to know details and want to know, not know much how I'm doing, but they want to know what's going on. I'm not a malicious person at all, but I just kind of left a few people on red because it's like, look, this is not the time for me to be a TMZ factory. I'm not about to sit here and speculate and give, people want to know what happened. So I kind of left them on red. I eventually followed up with a lot of those people, but it was very devastating. He was one of the best defensive backs in Virginia Tech history. I think the toughest moment that Saturday was All-American Jimmy Williams, a friend of mine. So the way it works is when you play college or high school sports, especially college or even pro, but definitely college, you have the guys that come after you, they look up to you. So like Roniel is one of those guys that I helped host him along with Sharon Stith on his visit. I hosted Mike Vick, my cousin, and Mike and Roniel eventually committed, and they were roommates. And Roniel and Mike were on their visit together. And, we hit it off right away. I knew of him from the Hampton Roads, Taiwood area. And then when I left, Roniel became the big brother to D'Angelo Hall, Eric Green, Jimmy Williams, and those guys. So Jimmy Williams, he FaceTimed me. That's my brother.
Yeah.
And I took his call, and he was looking at me and he asked, was Roniel gone? Was it true? And I said, yeah. And then we just, I'm in the middle of, a building of a gym, and we just both cried together for a few minutes, so it's tough, man. In the last several years, I've lost Keon Carpenter to a tragedy, Roniel Whitaker, Richard Bowen, who was a walk-on at Virginia Tech. He's the cousin of Andre Davis. As I mentioned, my best friend Joe, and also Brian Edmonds, who died of a heart attack. He was the great fullback in the late 90s. So again, you remember those names like you remember your losses. We talk about losses. You remember your wins, but you remember your losses. But I feel like with all those guys, Rick, you honor them by continue to live a legacy. You remember what they poured into you. You remember what they did for the community. I can't get them back. So what I do is every now and then I post a highlight. I post something they said. I post a picture. and I try to live the way they wanted me to live, the way they, the way they would be living if they were still here. And I also try to make sure that while I'm here, I have an impact. That's why I'm big on legacy. That's why you see me reading to kids. This is why you see me speaking to kids, why you see me doing commencement speeches. This is why I speak life. I speak positivity. This is why you see me taking pride in being a husband and father. This is why you see me advocating for the unfortunate, the lesser people in this world, just to make sure that while I'm here, I have a legacy. So when I'm gone, they can say, hey, man, in those years Dwight Vick was here, he lived with passion and purpose, and he helped so many people. Because one day I'll be talked about, hopefully in a good way, where people will remember the same way we remember what Ron Yale did about me.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and with him, and you can talk to him, what you're talking about him personally, but man, he did kind of start a thing, didn't he, at that position? He was a great, great player to go along with being the type of person and teammate that he was.
Yeah, I think, Virginia Tech has had so many great defensive backs, and probably more to come. And this generation playing now compared to my generation, the historical perspective is a little different because now everything you see is in live action, and then we have so much social media coverage. So it's like over and over and over again, you see whatever. Where you go further back in time, you have to kind of really dig into the crates to find highlights if it wasn't on YouTube or if it wasn't on Twitter. To some people, it didn't exist. So Raniel was an All-American. He was a very good punt returner. He had plays. He was a great trash talker, but he was an infectious personality. Like you're talking about the DBU legacy. I mean, so many great defensive backs. Well, you look at him and Larry Austin. They took over in that '99 game. They both had to play, especially Ron Yale, due to injuries against the great Peter Ward for Florida State. And Ron Yale came in and he played Peter Ward tough. But Peter Ward at that time probably was the best player in the country, along with my cousin Mike Vick.
Yes.
But they gave Winky the Heisman, which, whatever. He was a very good quarterback. But Peter Ward and Mike Vick were the two best players on the field and two of the best players in the country. And Peter Ward was a tough guard for Raniel. Raniel got beat on that, touchdown that kind of solidified the win for Florida State. But after that, the guy never lacked confidence. And most people didn't know, but some people do. He's the nephew of the former great boxer, Sweet Pea Whitaker. So he took on that same moxie and that same personality, and he brought it to Virginia Tech, and he was able to really shine at Virginia Tech. Just seeing him and my cousin Mike blossom, and then that whole freshman class that came in after the '98 season, and to see them take that team to new heights, and he had a great career at Virginia Tech. He personified Norfolk. He's from Norfolk, Virginia, Youngs Park, a very tough neighborhood that a lot of people stay away from, but he took pride in being from there. And I remember he was on my podcast. He's been on my podcast a couple of times, and he told me a story when I did his own individual interview on the Victory Life Legacy Spotlight. He talked about how he chose Virginia Tech because his grandmother, who raised him, his family really loved Stein Spring and Coach Kavanaugh and those guys. And Beamer and Stein Spring and company were not afraid to go into Youngs Park. He said there were certain schools, including Notre Dame and other schools, who were afraid to go into his neighborhood and his community. And it doesn't surprise me because Mike grew up in Eastern Newport News, the bottom, as we call it. And he talked about how Coach Kavanaugh, Beamer, and them were in his neighborhood in Bustle late at night. And
that's cool.
If you ever been down there, if you ever understand how Youngs Park and Eastern Newport News are, it doesn't mean you couldn't go down there, Rick. But most people are uncomfortable if you go in a place and you're looking around like, man, what's going on? Kind of like when, for my old heads watching National Lampoon's Vacation, in the first one when Chevy Chase was lost. That kind of neighborhood when Chevy Chase was lost and looking for directions.
Roll them up. Roll them up.
Yep. But yeah, man, Raniel was full of life, man. He was he was the kind of friend that would check on you, get a message from you. He always called me big fella. He always like big fella, big fella. That's what they called me, man. That was my nickname that he gave me. But he's only one that called me that. But he was a young guy, but an old soul. But anyway, man, I'm honored to call him my brother, teammate, and friend, and I'm honored that we're going to celebrate his life here coming up soon.
Well, and you're dedicated to legacy, and you're going to make sure his legacy is always remembered. So that's great, man. And so will the Tech community. No one's going to forget Ronyo Whitaker, that guy. No one. Nobody.
Yeah. And I'm thankful for the Tech fans that when I posted it, so many people jumped in my mentions, reposted, and honored him with a great memory and some kind words, which, again, is what it's all about. And if you didn't feel that way, that's fine, too. But, I mean, from everything I've seen, the love has been coming in droves, and I'm happy about that. I just wish he was still here, but at the same time, all of us have an expiration date. So again, like I said earlier, we got to make sure that we laugh a little bit more, that we, enjoy the moment, stay in the moment. Don't let a bad Tech loss or whatever team you follow make your whole week go to hell. Keep it in perspective, man. It's, sports is great. That's why I'm on your platform. But at the same time, I also mix in mental health and life along with sports.
Well, speaking of sports being great, congratulations to your son. I believe, what was it, freshman, all freshman team for Wingate? That's awesome, man. I mean.
Yeah, man. He, everyone's asking, thank you, first and foremost. My DMs,
no, that was cool. That was really cool.
DMs and text messages, everybody's like, what is he going to do? I'll say this. I'm not giving any breaking news right now, but he will. We're going to talk as a family, and we're going to make an informed decision. We're going to sit down and look at the options. I think one thing about him is he's done a great job putting himself in position to have options.
Sure, absolutely.
He's a 6'7" hybrid wing. I think he finished the season 12 point plus per game. Led the team in rebounders with 7+ point rebounds a game. Shot about 40% from three. He was in double figures 17 times this year. And I mean, he set his freshman scoring record, as I mentioned. I mean, he's special. I mean, I'm about to post some highlights here soon. I watched the game. They played the nationally ranked team, Anderson. I think it's top 5, top 4 in the country.
Anderson's good.
They're 26-2, and Wingate was the AC last night, and Anderson was number 1. They lost. They had a chance to tie at the buzzer to go into overtime off a missed free throw, and they did make it. Anderson is deserving of winning. They got a great freshman too, kid named Wright that was freshman of the year. Only 3 players made the all freshman team, so it's a great accomplishment by Zay. He was given the defensive player of the year all that he could handle last night. It was cool to see that a freshman was given the senior the business. It's also cool to have a Vic that's playing basketball. So much of our family, so many of us, man. Myself, Mike, Marcus, and there's a kid named my cousin Tyree Diggs, who's at Norfolk State, a running back from Phoebus. My nephew, he's a Fisher, but also a Vic. He is committed to UVA in football, so he's a rising senior. So many of us, minus my daughters, play volleyball, but the rest of us play football. And here comes Isaiah, 6'7", out here,
right,
just cooking people. But listen, man, everyone asking about him, I appreciate it. I know majority of our fans watching are Tech and Radford fans, but at the same time, I appreciate the support when I post highlights. People are very excited about him. I know there's some Hokie fans that, are praying that another Vic could be in a Tech uniform. Look, we'll see. I mean, you never know what the future holds. That's the cool thing about life, Rick, is like, several years ago, we didn't know each other. I only knew of you. And next thing you know, I'm on your show every Thursday morning. We become great friends. And, that's the beauty. You never know what this dream's going to take us. It's kind of cool, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, you're right. He's earned it, whatever's going to come his way next. And I've made sure not to ask because I know what process is likely happening now. But he's been terrific. I've seen some of the other highlights. The thing that impresses me, too, he wants to play defense. I mean, he's reaching in. I mean, he's a guy. And that's so important. We don't see that very often from young players, but you can tell he takes pride in getting in his defensive stance, and that end of the floor means as much to him as the other. So
Rick, thank you for saying that. Thank you. You've done your scouting report.
I know. I was
So
watching
thank
closely.
you. So, he's a bucket. He can get buckets and does, but since I
Absolutely.
coached him before he played for other coaches, he's always been a great defender. I think he had a bunch of blocks this year. He has the high school record at Patriot High School for 10 blocks in the game. He always, even when he was young, I would put him on the best offensive player. He can guard, he can defend,
He can guard. Yep.
And I'm because people will look at somebody, and it's just the nature of the game right now with high school, college, and pro is, how many buckets, what's his average. I'm telling you, he can play defense. He played against a kid that's at Kansas right now, their star freshman. He played against him in high school on the AAU circuit. He's played against some of the best players in the country. He's played against Nate and Mint 4 times in high school and in AAU. They were teammates for a year. And he's played against Cam Ward. He got the MVP against Cam Ward, who's starting at Michigan State or playing a lot. Isaiah gave him 21, 9, and 5. And then he played against Jordan Scott. Isaiah did twice. They split. Jordan got the better of him in the state championship game. But when he played Jordan Scott against him in the regular season, he had 17, 7, and 7, a near triple-double. So being in the D.C. area and being in Virginia, in high school and even in college, he's played against some of the better players in the country. So I think people don't realize that because they like, he went Division II. I don't think people realize that he had a ton of D1 interest, but with the portal now, and I know you know this, Rick, but to people that don't realize, a lot of guys that are highly ranked or really good, they will go a lower level first because that's their best option. And then the way it works is college coaches, they're not going to high school unless you're at a Paul 6 or you're highly ranked. They're going to the portal, prep schools, and JUCO to get their up and coming players. So we trusted the process. And one thing about our family, we come from humble beginnings. We don't get caught up in trying to, they're sleeping on us, and man, they're haters, or who are these idiots, coach? Man, look,
right.
Very few people play college gymnastics, college baseball, college football, college basketball, and so on and so on. So whatever level, D1, D2, D3, you better cherish it because most guys and women don't get a chance to play. They don't get that. How many people watching your show were very good in high school or good on varsity that didn't get an opportunity?
Absolutely.
And also, too, think about all the people that get to some of these Power 4 schools and they come in highly touted and they do their letter and sign it and pull out the hat. And then they get there. And then for the first 2 years, they're like this.
Yeah, go guys.
They're not even on the field. They're not on the court. They just sitting there clapping, drinking Gatorade, and then they in the portal after 2 years. So you go. My message this morning. Here's my public service announcement to all the youngins that may see this reel. Go where you're going to be appreciated and where you're going to play. Don't get caught up with oh man, I want to go play in the ACC. I want to play in the Atlantic 10. That's great. But if you're waiting for VCU or Virginia Tech to call you and they go after another kid, that's fine. Go somewhere where you're going to go play and put in that work, man. Because my dad told me when I was 9 years old, when I started becoming an athlete, he said, if you're good or even great, they will find you.
Yeah, right.
You
go to that lower level. Absolutely. Yeah. You go to that lower level, if you will, and then you have a great year and people go, all right, now he's stepped up. Now it's time for to go. Now he can go, all right, now I know if I go up to the P4 level, whatever it might be, I'm going to be playing. They want me now. So, yeah it's smart. Yeah. It's smart. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I can't wait to see the reveal when it happens. We should do it on the show. We should have the Dwight Vick, the Isaiah Vick.
Well, Isaiah, even though his dad gets paid a lot of money to talk and share his thoughts and get on all these stages, Isaiah he embraces attention, but he doesn't do all this stuff like I do.
Yep.
Again, he's not afraid of the moment, though. I mean, they called up the play last night for him to take the game winner. And he drove. He felt he got fouled, but the defender from the weak side came over and helped and blocked his shot. So for the coaching staff to draw a game winner for a true freshman says a lot. He led all scores with 22 points, had 5 boards, 3 assists. So again, I mean, he shot 50% from the field. So I'm proud of his effort, man. I'm proud of all my kids. I'm proud of the kids I've coached myself. I mean, people don't realize, and they may forget, I've coached a lot of kids that are playing high level football and basketball on the collegiate level, even have a few pros. Tim Settle's a guy I mentored and coached. Greg Stroman is a guy that played on my 7 team. So I've been around the game a long time in multiple sports. So people always ask, why did I decide to coach college? Because I'd rather be on Rick's show and run my mouth on Twitter.
I like that answer. I love that answer.
I can't coach and run my mouth on X. I can't do both, Rick.
No, I know. But the bottom line is, what it looks like, and people respect that. So when you're talking about it, they're like, "Well, Dwight knows what he's talking about."
Hey, listen. I got a kid. I got a kid that's at Harvard right now. He's a sophomore. I coached him for 5-6 years in AAU basketball, and he is a 1,000-point scorer in high school. His name is Tay Barber. He's a sophomore at Harvard. He's killing it, and they got the Ivy League tournament coming up. But he's a kid. His mom called me. We're close. She said, if you say something, she's in Disneyland right now or wherever, Disney World in Florida. I don't know which one it is, but she's in Disney. And she said her and her sisters were talking. And she said, I told my sisters, if Dwight Vick says it, you better believe it.
That's right.
I told her when her son was 8 years old, he was going to be a phenomenal basketball player. So I only speak what I know. If we were talking electrical engineering, I wouldn't even be on your show.
No. You and I just be sitting here going, I don't know. Lights are on. Does that mean?
No doubt. Absolutely.
Well, that's great stuff. Well, congratulations on all that. And thanks for sharing your thoughts on Roniel. And I'll pass along your well wishes to Coach Guerra and the baseball team, too. That kind of thing means a lot, man. It does.
It does. And Radford, when I was at Virginia Tech, was our sister school, so to speak, because my girlfriend at the time, not my wife, but my girlfriend at that time was a freshman at Radford when I was a freshman at Tech. And I spent a lot of time at Radford University. And it's a great school, great community. I mean, like Virginia Tech has grown a lot. I really did enjoy my time hanging out over there. And, I'm praying for everybody for healing. And I really want people to realize, I think the best thing about life outside of living it is taking a moment, whether good or challenging, and learning a life lesson, right? Like learn a life lesson. When I say learn from this, when you're seeing something like this happen, don't just hug your family member tighter or text somebody. Make sure you resolve any issues you have with people. Life is too short to hold on to these grudges and not be able to forgive and not be able to move forward. Like there's things that have been done to me throughout my life. And when I was younger, even as I've gotten older, I struggle with it because I'm like, man, that really bothered me. I can't believe I was betrayed. But that stuff really does weigh on you. While if you think about it, the other person's moved on. They're not even thinking about it. So, I know I'm preaching a little bit this morning, but I'm just trying to make sure I bring home the point of, let it go, and move on and just enjoy it the best, right? We're in 2026. I remember being at Virginia Tech in 1996, Rick. I remember playing in the Orange Bowl. I remember driving around Christiansburg. I remember the sweet tea at Hardee's that had me like high, right? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's how fast life goes. So enjoy it, right? Enjoy it. But let's also have fun. Let's keep debating and talking about how many wins Tech's going to get this fall. That right? Let's enjoy that too.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the fun part. That's the fun stuff. All right, brother. Well, listen, have a great weekend. Tell congrats to Isaiah from us here on the program as well. That's great.
I appreciate you. Thank you. I definitely will. And thank you to all that support Big Dog Sports Talk. This is a great platform. Thank you, Rick, for allowing me to share my insight, man. And everybody watching, I appreciate you. We appreciate it. Thank y'all.
I wouldn't want to do it without you, brother. You know that. You know that. So there you go.
Take care.
All right, man. Y'all stay safe. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Good.
All right, great stuff there from Dwight. Wow. I'll take that endorsement, huh? He's a great man. He's just a great human being. Right? Hell of a football player. Knows football up and down one side and out the other. He's just a great human being. That's all you can say about Dwight Vick. Great show today. Lots of emotions, man. And thanks to David Smith. Thanks to Andy Bitter, Alex Guerra. Man, thank you for coming on today and talking through just an impossible situation. And thanks to Dwight. And thanks to everybody in the community. Please subscribe, like, and share. And we'll see you tomorrow, finally Friday. It's going to be altered a little bit. I'm going to try to have Coach Elmo on to talk about Lou Holtz. And then Roland Lazenby is going to join us. Mike is flying to Texas early in the morning. So we won't have Mike tomorrow, but we will have Jen. And, of course, she'll follow up a little bit, too, with Coach Holtz. And that'll be our finally Friday edition. And then I'll hit the road to Johnson City for the Big South basketball tournament. But everybody take care. Enjoy your Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Go to the channel. I'm now posting shorts. It's getting a lot of views, what we've done so far this week. So you'll see lots of shorts, if you will. They're called shorts, video shorts of all of our conversations today here in about an hour or so. All right. We'll see everybody tomorrow on the Finally Friday edition. Take care.